From Viera, Florida, to the world via the internet, welcome to Brevard County Manatees Baseball. I'm Stephen Smith of SpaceCoastBaseball.com, and I'll be telling you about tonight's game from the first pitch until the final out. This is the final game in a three-game series between the Tampa Yankees and the Brevard County Manatees. Game 1 was supposed to be Sunday night, the 4th of July, against the Yankees, of course. That game, after a very long rain delay, was postponed, and so a make-up doubleheader was played yesterday. And if you're not aware, in the minor leagues, doubleheaders games are only 7 innings each, not 9 innings each. And in the first game yesterday, they wound up going 9 innings anyway, because after 7 innings, the game was tied 1-1 in a pitching duel between two of the better pitchers in the leagues, Adam Warren for the Tampa Yankees and Willie Peralta for the Manatees. The Manatees certainly had their chances to win in the bottom of the 7th when it was tied 1-1. Sean Halton led off the inning with a walk. Then with one out, he moved to second base when Sean Zaraga was hit by a pitch. Newly arrived Franklin Romero singled into center field, but Halton held up at third with Zaraga at second. Then with one out, Josh Prince struck out looking, and then Matt Klein flied out, and that ended that inning. In the bottom of the 8th and extra innings, with 2 outs, Angel Salome doubled to center field. He was replaced by a pinch runner, Scott Krieger. The pitcher, Pat Venditti, then intentionally walked Sean Halton to put runners on first and second with 2 outs, but Brock Kelgard flied out to end that inning. So in the top of the 9th, which was the second extra inning of game number 1, with 1 out, Melky Mesa hit a home run for the Yankees to make it 2-1. And in the bottom of the 9th, once again, the Manatees had their chance because with 1 out, Franklin Romero singled, but then he tried to stretch it into a double and was thrown out at second base, and that was it, and the Yankees won game 1 2-1. In the regularly scheduled game, the Manatees had no problems as they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 4th. Tampa managed to scratch out a run on the top of the 7th to make it 4-1, and that was the final score. 4-1 Manatees to split the doubleheader. The big hit in that 4th inning when Brevard scored 4 runs was a triple by Scott Krieger that knocked in 2 runs. So we play the final game of the 3-game series tonight, and it's another interesting pitching matchup. For Tampa, we're going to see left-hander Manuel Banuelos, who is making just his 2nd appearance in the Florida State League this year. He worked on July the 1st and threw only 3 1/3 innings, allowing no runs, 2 hits. Well, I should say no earned runs. It was 1 unearned run, 2 hits in 3 1/3 innings, struck out 4 and walked 2. Baseball America ranks Manuel Banuelos as perhaps the best left-handed pitching prospect in the New York Yankees farm system. Pitching for the Manatees will be Daniel Merklinger, and if you followed our last webcast on June 30th, Daniel was the starting pitcher for the Manatees that night. The Manatees won that game by a score of 5-3 over Daytona, and although Daniel's overall numbers don't look good on paper, 3 runs, 8 hits in 5 innings with 1 strikeout and 1 walk, he pitched much better than the numbers, and as we talked about that night, a lot of those hits were of the cheap variety, and personally I thought he did a much better job. He didn't get the decision. The win went to Trey Watson in relief with the save to Andre LaMontagne. But in any case, if Merklinger brings his A game to the mound tonight, then we should see quite a pitcher's duel between Merklinger and Banuelos. I'll give you the starting lineups for both teams in just a moment. So if you want to get a pencil and a piece of paper and get ready to take down the lineups, I'll give them to you in just a few minutes. A couple of administrative things to take care of first, beginning with the fact that tonight is Disney night here at Space Coast Stadium. So if you live in Brevard County, feel free to drive on over and get your inner Mickey on. And yes, there'll be plenty more of goofy jokes all night long, I'm quite sure. If you live here in Brevard County, we're located at Space Coast Stadium is in Viera, right in the heart of the county, and you can get here from anywhere in Brevard within 30 minutes if you get on the Interstate 95 and head for exit 195. Again, I-95 to exit 195. When you exit there, you'll see signs pointing to the stadium. You head south 3 miles on Stadium Parkway. Actually, when you get off at the freeway, it says Fisk Boulevard, but it becomes Stadium Parkway right at that location. So you go 3 miles south from the exit 195 exit on Stadium Parkway, and you arrive at Space Coast Stadium. Parking is free. Tickets are $7 each. And if you are a college student or military and you produce an ID, you can get in for just $5. And as we said, parking is free. We have plenty of available seating. This is the spring training home of the Washington Nationals with a capacity of about 7,500. So it's quite easy for people to walk up and find a quality seat here. We do have season tickets, and those are the only reserved seats in the ballpark. So if you come here, you'll see yellow stickers on some seats, and those belong to the season ticket holders. But anything that doesn't have a sticker on it, you're free to sit in, even if it's in the front row behind home plate. Also looking at the schedule coming up for the Manatees, if you happen to have the pocket schedule that was printed up and handed out at the front gate, there is a mistake in the calendar. After tonight, it shows a 3-game home series against Clearwater, and in actuality, that is a 3-game home series against the Dunedin Blue Jays. So the Manatees will be home for 3 more nights, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, each game starting at 7:05 p.m. But that's against the Dunedin Blue Jays, not the Clearwater Threshers. After that, they go on the road to Tampa to play the Yankees Saturday night at 7 o'clock, then Sunday at 1 p.m., Monday at 7 p.m., and then they're off Tuesday the 13th for the Major League All-Star game. The Manatees have taken the field. They're wearing their full white uniforms, Manatees in block and navy with the red trim on the front and the uniform numbers on the back. We're getting ready for the national anthem, so I'll stick the headset out the window, and then right after that we'll give you the starting lineups.
Please rise, remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Sherry Shamit.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stroke and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Very nicely done, Sherry Shamit. Thank you, Sherry.
Daniel Merkendler on the mound picks up the ball and gets ready for his warm-up tosses with Sean Zaraga. Very quickly, let me give you the starting lineup for the Tampa Yankees. Leading it off and in right field is number 22, Ray Krummel, Kruml. Batting second is the shortstop, number 21, Jose Pirela, Pirela. Batting third is the second baseman, number 2, Corbin, Corban, Joseph, Joseph. He was definitely an all-star. He was here in the Florida State League All-Star game on June 12, and he participated in the Home Run Derby. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 36, Bradley Suttle, Suttle. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 29, Melky, Melky, Mesa, Mesa. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 35, Zoilo, Z-O-I-L-O, Almonte, A-L-M-O-N-T-E. Batting seventh is the first baseman, number 56, Trent Lockwood. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 51, Myron, M-Y-R-O-N, Leslie, L-E-S-L-I-E. And batting ninth is the left fielder, number 11, Ramon Flores. The starting lineup for the Manatees, leading it off, and at shortstop, number 17, Josh Prince. Batting second and at third base, number 3, Matt Klein. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 8, Eric with a K, Komatsu, K-O-M-A-T-S-U. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 24, Sean S-E-A-N Halton. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 10, Sergio Miranda. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 33, Brock Kelgard, K-J-E-L-D-G-A-A-R-D. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 47, Scott Krieger. Batting eighth, at number 13, is the catcher, Sean Zaraga, Z-A-R-R-A-G-A. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 11, Franklin Romero. Ray Crummell stepping in on the left side, awaiting the first pitch from Daniel Merklinger, and that is a fastball in the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. The Manatees defensively, Sean Halton at first, Matt Klein at second, Josh Prince at short, and Sergio Miranda at third. Next pitch is a breaking ball that runs away, and the count's 1-1. In the outfield, it's Brock Kelgard in left. Newly arrived Franklin Romero in center and Scott Krieger in right. Behind the plate is Sean Zaraga waiting the pitch from Daniel Merklinger, which is swung on and fouled over on the third base side. That appears to have disappeared over the aluminum overhang and gone outside the stadium, and the count's 1-2. On deck is Jose Perella. 1-2 pitch by Merklinger, breaking ball outside corner, strike 3 called. Sean Zaraga throws the ball down to Sergio Miranda at third to go around the infield, and instead he airmailed it into left field, so Brock Kelgard will get that back in. But in any case, it's a leadoff strikeout by Daniel Merklinger, getting Ray Crummell. So with one out, that'll bring up shortstop Jose Perella. Left-hander winds in the first pitch. Fastball down the middle, strike 1. Perella batting .221. 1 homer, 31 RBI. Fly ball up the alley, left center field. Brock Kelgard chasing after it. Center fielder Romero. Neither one's going to get to it. Romero catches it on the running track out there by the BJ's Warehouse sign in left center field. Stopping at second is Perella. So Jose Perella has a 1-out double, and the Yankees have their first runner of the game. So that'll bring up all-star second baseman Corbin Joseph. He's all over the hitting leaders in the Florida State League. Batting .310, 5 homers, 44 RBI. Lefty against lefty. Perella takes his lead. First pitch by Merklinger. Fastball hits the outside corner, 0-1. Joseph's .310 batting average, 7th in the Florida State League. Number 3 in hits with 90. Leads the league in doubles with 24. 5th in extra base hits with 30. There goes the runner to third. Pitch is swung on. It's a line drive right at the shortstop Prince, who takes it to second base to double off Jose Perella. And just like that, the Tampa Yankees are done in the top of the first. No runs, a hit, no errors, and thanks to the line drive double play, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first, and it's the Tampa Yankees nothing. The Brevard County Manatees against Manuel Banuelos coming up. For those of you who are joining our webcast for the first time, and certainly a howdy do to the Tampa Yankee fans out there on the other side of the state, this broadcast works a little bit different from most minor league baseball broadcasts. The Manatees do not have a radio contract, so Space Coast Baseball.com has volunteered to call 15 home games on the internet this year. So because there are no commercials and no products that we have to push, that means that between innings, you and I can keep on talking. So if we get into a conversation about a subject and something happens instantly, like that line drive double play to end the inning, we can go ahead and finish that topic. The downside is it means I don't get a break until the game's over. So if there comes a moment when I need to clear my throat or just get up and do something, most likely I'll just stick the headset out the window and let you listen to the crowd noise. It's not the most professional sound in the world, but you get what you pay for. Also, if you want to email me during the game, I'll try to check messages when I can. The email address is home@spacecoastbaseball.com. That's home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Or you can go to my website at www.spacecoastbaseball.com, and there's a link there at the top that says click here to email spacecoastbaseball.com. When you go to spacecoastbaseball.com, you'll see that it does coverage of professional and amateur baseball in Brevard County, and I was out here yesterday for the doubleheader shooting photos and video. So if you want to see some photos from yesterday's game, click on the homepage where it says go to the blog, and I posted photos of Manatees players. But rest assured, Tampa Yankee fans, that I took plenty of pictures of the Tampa fans too. So those will eventually show up on spacecoastbaseball.com. It may take me a couple of weeks to do that, but at least I'll try to start working on them sometime this weekend. Also, I shot quite a bit of video, which I need to get online, and the way things went last night, I was filming mostly when Tampa was scoring. So Tampa fans, you want to check on the left-hand column under videos, and in a couple of days you should see some of those coming up. But for Manatees fans, there's already a video clip of R.J. Seidel, who pitched in game number 2 last night, was the starting pitcher. You can see that, and Willie Peralta is almost done. He was the starter in game 1, and that'll be up sometime tomorrow, and then anything else I find is appropriate. All right, bottom of the first, Josh Prince steps in against Manuel Banuelos. First pitch, fastball taken high, 1-0. Prince batting .249 with a homer, 18 RBI, batting right-handed against the lefty Banuelos. 1-0 pitch. Fastball 92 miles an hour, hits the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. The Yankees defensively, Trent Lockwood at first, Corbin Joseph at second, Jose Perella at short, and Brad Suttle is at third. 1-1 pitch by Banuelos. Fastball inside, 2-1. In the outfield, Ramon Flores is in left, Melky Mesa in center, and Ray Crummell in right. The catcher is Myron Leslie, and on the mound, Manuel Banuelos, who takes a long look in at Leslie, and the 2-1 pitch is a line drive past the shortstop, Perella, into left field for a base hit. Prince stops at first as the left fielder Flores gets the ball in, and Josh Prince has a leadoff single. So with one out, that'll bring up Matt Klein, batting .295, no homers, 17 RBI. Josh Prince at first base, one of the top base stealers in the league. 24 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. Those 24 are good enough for 4th in the Florida State League. Lockwood holding him on at first. First pitch by Banuelos. Fastball hits the outside corner, 0-1. Matt Klein steps out and takes a look at manager Bob Missick, who's coaching over at third, and hitting coach Dwayne Hosey is over at first. Very typical to see that in the minor leagues, where the manager coaches at third and the hitting coach is over at first. But you do see some exceptions here and there, notably over in the first base coach's box. Breaking ball missed down and in, and the count's 1-1. It's not unusual to see the hitting coach stay in the dugout so he can focus more on his hitters, and they'll either send a bench player or maybe even a bullpen guy out to coach at first, and it gives those players a little bit more rounded opportunity to learn a different aspect of the game than just their position. Banuelos makes a token toss over to first, and in with a couple of steps is Josh Prince. Outfield lineman pretty much straight away for Matt Klein. Still looking for his first dinger of the year. He has a slugging percentage of only .357. There goes Prince. Pitch is swung on, and it's fouled back towards the press box, and the count's 1-2. Klein is great at getting on base. He has a .396 on base percentage. but his slugging percentage is only .357. Of his 67 hits so far this year, only 13 have been for extra bases, 12 doubles, and a triple. But he does make contact, only 29 strikeouts and 227 at-bats. So that assures Bob Missick, the manager, that he can put Prince in motion and that Klein will make contact, pitches down low, and in standing at second base with a stolen base, number... Yeah, see, now I just told you the number, I forgot it. Number 25 for Josh Prince. That'll still keep him number 4 in the stolen base derby. Ahead of him starting today were Kevin Madison of Jupiter and Isaias Velasquez of Charlotte, who are at 26. 2-2 pitch, up and in, and the count's 3-2. Prince faked like he was going to head for third and stopped after about 4 or 5 steps. It might have rattled Benuelos just a little. As we said, this is Benuelos' second start of the season. He began 2010 on the disabled list. Pitches a line drive hit the opposite way. It's going to fall in front of the right fielder, Crummel, for a base hit. Stopping at third is Prince as Matt Klein goes the opposite way for a single. So the Manatees have runners at the corners with nobody out, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Eric Komatsu. Komatsu batting .308 with 2 homers, 31 RBI. His .308 average, number 8 in the league, right behind Corbin Joseph at .310. Batting left-handed against the southpaw Benuelos. Lockwood holding on Klein at first, and the third baseman Subtle about even with Prince at third. Fastball hits the outside corner, 0-1. Benuelos, coming into 2010, was ranked the Yankees' number 6 pitching prospect by Baseball America. They published their annual prospect handbook right around the time that spring training begins. He's only 19 years old. Pitch is swung on and it bounces off of Komatsu's foot. He goes down to his left knee as the dog is a-barking. And the count's 0-2. According to Baseball America, Benuelos was signed as a non-draftable free agent because he's out of Mexico in 2008. Last year at Low A Charleston, he was the best starter in the first half before retiring. They moved him into the bullpen down the stretch, and he was so good that he was promoted here to Tampa for their playoff run. 0-2 pitch. Hits it the opposite way down the left field line for a base hit. That'll score Prince. Stopping at second is Matt Klein, and the Brevard County Manatees take a 1-0 lead over the Tampa Yankees. So that'll bring up the first baseman, Sean Halton. Batting .280 with 6 homers, 33 RBI. We were telling you what Baseball America had to say about Manuel Benuelos. They wrote that Benuelos has 2 potential plus pitches and pitching savvy well beyond his years. His fastball sits at 88 to 92 when he's at his best as a starter and reached 94 in relief late in the season. He uses his fastball inside well and throws strikes to all quadrants of the plate. His changeup already rates as solid average. The Yankees laud his mound presence, poise, and makeup. There's a changeup down and in, and the count's 1-0. According to Baseball America, while his curveball is currently fringy, meaning so-so, Benuelos has the hand speed to add power to it and make it an average pitch in time. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed, and another changeup, and the count goes 1-1. Baseball America says he's just a fair athlete and needs to improve his ability to field his position and hold runners. They believe he's on the fast track to becoming a number 3 starter, and they think it's possible that he could reach Double-A by season's end, although I would think with missing most of the season's an injury, that's unlikely. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed on another changeup. So 3 changeups in a row to Sean Halton, and the count goes 1-2. Sergio Miranda is on deck. Manatees lead the Yankees 1-0 here with nobody out in the bottom of the first. Matt Klein at second and Eric Komatsu at first. 1-2 pitch. Another off-speed pitch, and it's bounced off of Halton's foot, and the count remains 1-2. Josh Prince led off the inning with a single, stole second, advanced to third on the single by Matt Klein, and then scored on Eric Komatsu's single. Eric now at first, and Matt off the bag at second. Corbin Joseph, the second baseman for Tampa, creeping in at second. Now he takes a couple steps back, and the 1-2 pitch is a grounder foul down the third baseline past the manager, Bob Nissick, and it rolls up against the tarp and then further down the foul line. Space Coast Stadium is horseshoe-shaped, and so behind home plate and along the foul lines past the dugouts as you work your way down the foul lines, there's a lot of foul territory. But then about 2/3 of the way down the lines, the stands curl inward back towards the field. Fastball misses down low and away, and the count's 2-2. So within the last, maybe 100 feet or so before you get to the foul poles, there's maybe only 4 or 5 feet between the foul pole and the stands. It's a very spacious ballpark, 340 down the lines. Swings at a breaking ball, and again it rolls foul down the third baseline. Count remains 2-2. The Florida State League has a reputation as being a pitcher-friendly league. Let's get that right. Florida State League has a reputation as a pitcher-friendly league. And Space Coast Stadium is considered one of the most pitcher-friendly of all of those ballparks. 404 to dead center. They do not label the distance up the alleys, but they're very spacious. I'd have to guess somewhere in the 380s. 2-2 pitches another breaking ball, and once again, Halton pulls it foul. And the count remains 2-2. Looking from the left field foul pole over to center, it's very standard, the 8-foot high wall, but once you get to the 404 marker, just to the left of the center field wall, there's a big batter's eye that raises up from the center field wall, maybe about 25, 30 feet high. Fastball outside corner, strike 3 called. Well, Banuelos fed Halton a diet of off-speed pitches, change-ups, and breaking balls, and I think Sean was expecting another one of those, and instead Banuelos threw him a fastball on the outside corner. So 1 down. Klein remains on second and Komatsu on first, and that'll bring up Sergio Miranda, batting .294, no homers, 46 RBI. Sergio, one of the best contact hitters in the league. He ranks number 3 in the league in fewest strikeouts to total plate appearances. Strikes out only once every 12.58 appearances at the plate. First pitch by Banuelos, fastball misses away, 1-0. We're talking about Space Coast Stadium. We talked about that batter's eye that rises a good 25, 30 feet behind the center field wall. It's actually attached to the wall, and that batter's eye is in play. So if you drive a ball to the straight center field and it hits off the top of that wall, it's still in play. Miranda swings and hits a hard grounder foul beyond the Manatees dugout on the first base side. To the right of the center field wall, you have 2 levels of ads. One is the usual outfield fence, which is a little bit higher than on the left side, maybe about 10 feet. And then above that is a second row of ads, and you really can't see it from the stands, but there is a separation between those 2 rows. Fastball misses away, and it's 2-1. There is a yellow line across the top of the lower fence, and you can get a ball in there between the lower fence and the upper fence for a home run. If it hits off the upper fence with the ads on it, that's a home run. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on a curveball, and the count goes 2-2. On deck is the left fielder, Brock Kelgard. 1-0 Manatees over the Yankees here in the bottom of the first, trying to get more. with Matt Klein on second and Eric Komatsu on first, and only one out. Banuelos certainly would like to get a double play here to get out of the inning. 2-2 pitch is a pop foul that's going to drift out of play behind the Manatees dugout on the first base side, and the count remains 2-2. Miranda is fairly difficult to double up. He's grounded into 6 double plays in 293 at-bats. 2-2 pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Going down to third is Klein, and he has it stolen. Holding at first is Eric Komatsu. For Matt Klein, stolen base number 7. He was only 6 for 16, but he swipes a bag there off of Myron Leslie. So that's the 7th stolen base of the year for Matt Klein. Banuelos has his second strikeout with 2 outs. That'll bring up Brock Helgar, the left fielder, batting .228, leads the team in home runs with 8, and has 41 RBI, which is second only to Miranda. Batting right-handed against the southpaw Banuelos. First pitch, swings at a fastball up and in and misses, and the count's 0-1. Kelgard leads the league in strikeouts with 103, and nobody else even close. Bradenton's Calvin Anderson at 88. 0-1 pitch, fastball misses away, and it counts 1-1. Myron Leslie, the catcher, held it there for the home plate umpire, but he wasn't biting. We have 2 umpires, which is typical for this level. The home plate umpire is Joe Bourne, B-O-R-N, and the infield umpire is Jeff Morrow, M-O-R-R-O-W. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball hits the outside corner, and the count's 1-2. In the minor leagues, you see only two umpires, one behind home plate and one on the infield, all the way up through this level, advanced Class A. You get to Double A, they have 3 umpires, and in Triple A, 4. Breaking ball inside corner, strike 3 called. So after giving up 3 hits and a 1-0 lead, Banuelos gets 3 strikeouts to get out of the inning. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We've gone 1 here at Space Coast Stadium in Vieira, and the Manatees have a 1-0 lead over the Tampa Yankees. Well, the Tampa Yankees are off to a hot start here in the second half of the 2010 season. Minor League Baseball, most leagues below AAA, play 2 halves through their season, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One reason is, quite frankly, to create more interest, because if a team's out of it in the first half, for example, the Manatees finished 27-42 in the first half, 13.5 back behind Dunedin. You don't want your fans to lose interest, so after the first 70 games, we reset the second half, which is another 70 games. And depending on the team, we're about 10, 11, 12 games into the second half. The Tampa Yankees are in first place in the North Division at 7-2, while the Manatees are 5-6, 3 games behind the Yankees. In the first half, Tampa finished 4 games behind the Dunedin Blue Jays. And as I said, the Manatees finished in last place, 13.5 back. But the Yankees seem poised to make a run similar to what they did a year ago in 2009 when they won the Florida State League pennant. Last year in the first half of the North Division, the Manatees finished first place running away, 40-24, 7.5 games behind or 7.5 games ahead of the Daytona Cubs. And the Tampa Yankees finished 5th at 30-37. But then the Yankees organization promoted a lot of players from one level below at Charleston. And in the second half, the Tampa Yankees went 47-19 to win the second half by 6.5 games over the Manatees, who were 39-24. If you look at the overall record for 2009 in the North Division, the Manatees had the better record, 79-48, 5 games ahead of the Tampa Yankees. But in the playoffs, that first round, best 2 out of 3, the Yankees won games 1 and 2 to eliminate Brevard. And then the Yankees went on to win the Florida State League pennant. All right, top of the second. Brad Suttle, the number 4 hitter, leads it off for Tampa. First pitch by Daniel Merklinger hits the outside corner, strike one. Suttle, batting .248, 2 homers, 39 RBI. Will be followed by Melky Mesa and Zoilo Almonte. 0-1 pitch, swings and misses at a curveball, and the count goes 0-2. Long look in by Merklinger in the 0-2 pitch. Ooh, breaking fastball up and in, and the count's 1-2. Time call by the home plate umpire, Joe Bourne. We were talking about the infield umpire, and he gets a lot of work. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball down and in, and the count's 2-2. Right now, he's stationed behind the first baseman on the right field foul line, actually standing in foul territory, so if a ball hits him, it's out of play. With a runner on base, he's usually behind the pitcher. Big breaking ball that hangs outside, and the count goes full, 3-2. On deck is Melky Mesa. 3-2 pitch. Hits a little grounder down to Sergio Miranda at third, goes across the diamond over to the first baseman, Halton, for the out. So with one out, that brings up the center fielder, Melky Mesa, whose home run in the top of the ninth yesterday won Game 1 of the doubleheader for Tampa. Overall, Mesa batting .252, 7 home runs, 32 RBI. First pitch by Melkinger is a fly ball down the right field line, hooking foul, 0-1. Melky Mesa, Baseball America ranked him as the number 18 prospect in the Yankees system. Here's another fly ball foul on the right field side and out of play, 0-2. Baseball America notes that Melky's first name is short for Melchizedek. There's a little pop foul on the first base side, racing over his Halton towards the warning track, has room and backhands it. He was almost to the railing, and then the ball started drifting back towards fair territory a couple of steps, and he backhanded it for the second out. So 2 outs, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Zoilo Almonte, who's batting .290, just 9 for 31. No homers, 3 RBI. Batting right-handed against Merklinger. First pitch, fastball up high, ball 1. This is the time of night where the sun is setting behind the stands on the first base side, and it's shining right in the faces of the defenders on the left-handed side of the field. There's a high fly ball into short right center field. 3 players converging, and the right fielder Krieger takes it for the final out. So Daniel Merklinger off to a good start. 1, 2, 3. And we go to the bottom of the second with a Brevard County Manatees leading the Tampa Yankees by a score of 1-0. I was telling you about Melky Mesa and said that Baseball America said that his name is short for Melchizedek. It's spelled Melquissedec, which was an Old Testament non-Hebrew priest, which is a bit of a reach, but hey, if it works, it works. They described Mesa as saying he was an explosive player and could be the system's top 5 tool player. But the problem is that most scouts consider him a below-average hitter. He's a free swinger who's overly aggressive no matter what the count. And we'll save the rest of it for the next time that Melky Mesa comes to the plate. I had a report in email from one listener that's saying he got about the first 10 minutes of the broadcast and then lost it. So if you were out there listening and you can still hear the broadcast, please feel free to give me an email, home@spacecoastbaseball.com, just to let me know that the webcast stream is still working. It looks fine on this end, but of course I'm transmitting, I'm not receiving. And the transmission actually goes over the internet to Major League Baseball Advanced Media, which then sends the stream out. And I really have no way other than relying on all of you to know whether or not it's actually being heard. If you miss any part of the webcast, they're all archived on spacecoastbaseball.com, so it should be on the website sometime tomorrow in its entirety. And if you want to listen to any of the earlier webcasts, on the homepage there at spacecoastbaseball.com, on the menu bar, click Multimedia and select Audio, and you'll see all the webcasts. And for you Tampa Yankee fans, not only will you see the game we called earlier this year, but you'll also see the playoff games from 2009, so you can listen to those and gloat. All right, bottom of the second, it's the bottom three for the Manatees, starting with right fielder Scott Krieger. First pitch by Banuelos, fastball up high, ball one. Krieger batting 189, 14 for 74, 4 home runs, 15 RBI. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed at a fastball, and the count's 1-1. Scott will be followed by the catcher Sean Zaraga and the center fielder Franklin Romero. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball sliced the opposite way down the right field line. Racing into the corner is the right fielder Crummel, but he can't catch up with it, and it drops it in foul territory, and the count's 1-2. The right fielder for the Tampa Yankees for most of the year was Jack Rye, but he got a well-earned promotion to Double-A Trenton on the 4th of July. And he represented, or was one of the representatives of the Tampa Yankees in the All-Star game. So he's been replaced, at least in this game, by Ray Crummel. 1-2 pitch. Fastball is down and in, and the count goes 2-2. Center fielder is shading Krieger just a little bit into right center field. We were saying the sun is setting behind the first base stand, so shortstop, third base, left field, that sun is shining right in their eyes right now. And there's a fly ball to left field, giving ground as left fielder Flores, who catches it for the first out. So that breaks a string of 3 consecutive strikeouts by Banuelos. And that brings up the number 8 hitter, Sean Zaraga, batting .281 with a home run, 12 RBI. Well, now we must have had a lineup change, because this is not Sean Zaraga, this is Michael Roberts. And he swings at the first pitch and hits a line drive foul down the right field line and out of play. I don't know at one point Zaraga was replaced, but Michael Roberts is at the plate. Batting right-handed against the southpaw Banuelos. Breaking ball darts in on the inside corner, and the count's 0-2. Roberts batting .231, 15 for 65, no homers, 7 RBI. 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses down low, and the count's 1-2. They don't have a PA system here in the press box, so if there are any changes, we pretty much just have to rely on the speaker system in the stadium for any mid-game changes. There's another pitch that misses low, and the count's 2-2. So any time that there is a lineup change, or we need a ruling on pass ball versus wild pitch or anything else funky like that, we kind of have to guess. There's a grounder on a couple of hops to the first baseman, Lockwood, who bobbles, tosses it over to Banuelos, covering the bag for the out. Well, Banuelos paid attention in spring training to pitcher's fielding practice, or as it's called, PFP, because anytime a ball is hit on the right side of the infield, that pitcher is supposed to race over and cover first, and that's just what he did, and that got the second out of the inning. So with 2 down, that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Franklin Romero. who made his Florida State League debut yesterday, appearing in both games with a doubleheader, and he went 2 for 4. Swings at the first pitch and hits a pop fly on the infield. First baseman Lockwood has it for the out. So the Manatees go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second, and after 2, the Manatees 1, the Yankees nothing. Anyway, if there are any lineup changes during the game or any ruling clarifications we need, we really don't have a way of getting that, because here in the radio booth we're physically separated from where the official scorer and the PA are. So one of the ways that I can get that information is to go to the minor league baseball website, MILB.com. You can type minorleaguebaseball.com, but that's really long, and why would you want to do that? Just type MILB.com. And when you get there, click on Scoreboard on the menu bar, and then you select the particular league you want, in this case the Florida State League. And you will see all the box scores for the games being played during the night. And I'm looking at the starting lineup that was posted. We were handed a starting lineup that showed Sean Zaraga catching, but it shows that he never was actually in the game. Michael Roberts was in the official starting lineup. So Zaraga apparently still available unless he was scratched for a reason we haven't heard. And behind the plate will be number 6, Michael Roberts, to start the game. If you're wondering about the unusual music selection in the background, as we said earlier, it's Disney night here at Space Coast Stadium. Disney World with Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and all that other stuff. It's about maybe 50 miles to the west of where we are on the east coast of the Atlantic. And so far, I haven't seen anybody displaying their inner Mickey. But we are hearing a lot of classic tunes from Disney movies, and the one they just played was from Enchanted, which came out a couple of years ago with Amy Adams, one of my favorites for no other reason than it's a parody of all the other Disney movies. All right, top of the third, 1-0 Manatees. It'll be first baseman Trent Lockwood, followed by catcher Myron Leslie and the left fielder Flores. First pitch by Merklinger. Leaves a fastball up high and away, and it counts 1-0. Next pitch by Daniel to the left-handed Lockwood. Fastball hits the outside corner and counts 1-1. Other scores in the Florida State League. Daytona had a day game against Clearwater. The Cubs won that one by a score of 11-1. Fastball misses up and away, and it counts 2-1. Smiley Borges hit his 4th home run, and Rebel Riddling his 6th for Daytona. They're in progress at Lakeland. The Dunedin Blue Jays leading 5-3 over the Lakeland Tigers in the 7th. That's game 1 of a doubleheader. Here's a high fly ball into short center field. Flores, ranging over into left center, says he's got it. Or excuse me, not Flores, Romero. Franklin Romero, the new center fielder for the Manatees tonight. He has it for the first out. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the catcher, Myron Leslie, who's batting .205 with 1 homer, 17 RBI. He bats right-handed against Merklinger. First pitch by Daniel. Fastball misses down low, 1-0. Palm Beach at Bradenton, the Cardinals and the Marauders. The Pirates affiliate leading 9-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Here's a hard grounder foul down the third baseline. And it counts 1-1. That's also a make-up doubleheader there in Bradenton. The Jupiter Hammerheads won a 7-inning game against Fort Myers, 1-0. That's also a make-up doubleheader. Fastball misses in, and it counts 2-1. At St. Lucie, the St. Lucie Mets leading the Charlotte Stone Crabs 2-0 in the top of the 2nd. Charlotte Tampa Bay Rays affiliate. 2-1 pitch. Line drive past the shortstop Prince into left field for a base hit. Kelgard has it on a couple of hops. Gets it into Matt Klein covering second. And Myron Leslie is on with a 1-out single. So that'll bring up left fielder Ramon Flores, who's just 4 for 16 since he joined Tampa from Charleston after Jack Rye moved up to Double-A. All 4 of his 16 hits have been singles, batting left-handed against the southpaw Merklinger. First pitch, fastball up and in, and the count's 1-0. Leslie at first is 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Has a reasonable lead. Fastball misses away, and the count is 2-0. Well, we've seen this happen to Daniel Merklinger at times. He's just blazing along like the best pitcher in the league, and then all of a sudden he loses his control point. 2-0 pitch is a high fly ball into right field. Giving ground is Scott Krieger into the corner as the ball drifts, and he has it for the second out. Remaining at second is Myron Leslie. We go back to the top of the lineup for right fielder Ray Crummell, who struck out looking to lead off the game. There's a pickoff throw to first, not really all that serious, and Leslie back standing. Didn't give you the weather at game time. It was about 85 degrees, and with the 68% humidity, it felt like 93. Breaking ball darts in on the inside corner, and the count's 0-1. The wind was out of the east-northeast at about 5 miles an hour, and looking out at the flagpoles in left center field, they're pretty limp right now. 0-1 pitch. There's another breaking ball that didn't break as much as I think Daniel hoped it would, and the count is 1-1. I was worried a little bit that might actually graze Crummell because it didn't dart back in like it should have. 1-1 pitch, no, he makes another token toss to first, and Leslie's back standing. The weather forecast was for about a 10% chance of rain, and as we look out to the south over Brevard County, just a few scattered clouds here and there. Fastball misses away, and the count's 2-1. We're at the end of a period of about a week of where we had very hot and muggy weather, but not as much rain as we normally get. 2-1 pitch is a fly ball sliced down the left field line and curls into the stands, and the count's 2-2. This time of year in Florida, we have very combustible weather. The warm, muggy air coming off the Gulf colliding with the cooler, drier air coming off the Atlantic, which usually results in thunderstorms sometime in the afternoon. 2-2 pitch is a grounder past Merklinger, past the second baseman Klein into center field for a base hit. Leslie going for third. The throw, he is safe. The ball gets away from the third baseman Miranda, but wisely backing it up, saving his own skin, is the pitcher Daniel Merklinger, and advancing to second on the throw is Ray Crummell. So that'll be a single for Crummell, with Leslie advancing to second on the single and then taking third on his own. And I would think that Crummell advances to second on an error, but they have not posted an error yet. So maybe it's just going to be a fielder's choice on the throw to third. In any case, Crummell at second, Leslie at third, 2 down, and Jose Perella at the plate. Swings and misses at an 89 mile an hour fastball, and the count's 0-1. Perella doubled with 1 out in the top of the first for the first Tampa hit. Batting right-handed, the outfield pretty much straight away. The center fielder Romero maybe a step or two into right center. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball darts inside, and the count's 1-1. Merklinger trying to protect a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third. 2 down. 1-1 pitch. Swings and misses at a fastball inside, and the count's 1-2. That was a good pitch. Right in on his hands. Daniel delivered it from a 3/4 delivery, so it kind of came across his body. 1 strike away from getting out of a slightly difficult inning. On deck, Corbin Joseph. Don't want to face him. Umpire calls time.
As we said, Joseph an all-star and all over the top 10 list of the Florida State League batting leaders. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball gets away from Roberts. Here comes the runner. Covering the plate is Merklinger, and Leslie is ruled safe. Advancing to third is Crummell. Now, this is an example I was saying earlier. The scoreboard does not show us pass ball versus wild pitch. And Roberts had the ball in his glove, and it rolled away to his right, allowing Leslie to score. So for now, I'm going to rule that a pass ball that allows Leslie to score and Crummell to advance to third. And we'll check on MILB.com once that page updates. It usually takes about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll let you know what the official ruling was. I thought that they had a chance to get Leslie because he's not a very fast runner, and Merklinger, again, defending his position very well, was right there at the plate to take the throw from Roberts. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed at a fastball inside, and down swinging goes Jose Perella. That's the second strikeout for Daniel Merklinger, but the Yankees tie it up. 1 run, 2 hits. A pass ball that allows a tying run to score, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. The Tampa Yankees won, and the Brevard County Manatees won. Well, as we said, the Tampa Yankees off to a good start here in the second half at 7-2. The Brevard County Manatees 5-6. Overall, Tampa 43-34, and the Manatees 32-48. But head-to-head, they've played 8 games so far, and the Manatees lead 5-3 head-to-head. Not bad against the Yankees. Once again, if you'd like to come out and see a Manatees game here at Space Coast Stadium, we play in Space Coast Stadium, which is the spring training home of the Washington Nationals, although the Manatees are actually an affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. So you'll see they're wearing a Brewers logo on their right sleeve, and then you see Washington National logos all around the stadium, and it is what it is. But in any case, we still have a good chunk of the second half left to go. Single game tickets are only $7 each. General admission, you can sit anywhere that doesn't have a season ticket holder's sticker on the seat. And if you are a college student or a military service person and you produce your ID, you can get in for just $5. To get tickets, you can just walk up to the ballpark. As I said, the seating capacity is 7,500, so plenty of room. But if you want tickets in advance, you can call the box office at area code 321-633-9200. Again, 321-633-9200. Or you can order tickets through the Manatees website at www.manateesbaseball.com. All right, bottom of the third and a 1-1 tie. It'll be the top of the lineup, Josh Prince, followed by Matt Klein and Eric Komatsu. Josh singled to lead off the bottom of the first and scored the only Brevard run so far. Banuelo's first pitch is swung on, and it's a line drive foul back into the net, 0-1. Tampa's third baseman, Brad Suttle, was in a couple of steps, and now with an 0-1 count, he steps back about parallel with the third base bag, maybe about 10-15 feet off the foul line. 0-1 pitch by Banuelos. Prince checks his swing, and the fastball misses outside, and the count's 1-1. And it's just about sunset here in Vieira. The lights are on. 1-1 pitch, up and in, and the count goes 2-1. Just a little bit of daylight left. The sun has set behind the stadium, so that won't be a factor anymore for the players on the left side of the field. 2-1 pitch. Checks his swing, and it rolls foul to the backstop, and the count's 2-2. Tampa Yankees, their uniforms look very much like the parent clubs. Have you ever seen the New York Yankees road jerseys? They look a lot like that. Checks his swing on a breaking ball, and the count goes full, 3-2. The only difference is that across the front, instead of saying New York, it says Yankees in those black letters on the gray jerseys. 3-2 pitch. It's a line drive right at the second baseman, Corbin Joseph, for the first out. Hit it well, but it was right at Joseph. So one down, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Matt Klein. Matt singled in the first. The big difference in the Tampa uniform from the parent club is that instead of the NY on the hat, fastball misses down low, 1-0. It says TY, like Ty Cobb, but it stands for Tampa Yankees. In the first game of the doubleheader yesterday, they wore their alternate jerseys that were navy, and they said Tampa Yankees across the front. This pitch misses down low, and the count is 2-0. As I said, I was doing photos and video yesterday, and I'll have some photos of the Tampa players up in a day or two, and you can see what their alternate road jerseys look like, as well as in the videos. 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses away, and the count's 3-0. If you want to see the photos, go to spacecoastbaseball.com, and you'll see a link there that says go to the blog. And the photos of the Brevard players from last night are already up. Fastball hits the outside corner, 3-1. I already have video up of R.J. Seidel, who started Game 2, and working on Willie Peralta, and then after that I'll get into some of the offensive highlights. Fastball misses away, ball 4. So Matt Klein reaches for the second time, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Eric Komatsu. He singled in the first to score Josh Prince. Matt Klein taking a lead off of first. He came into the game 6 for 16 in stolen bases, but he did swipe third in the first inning. First pitch by Banuelos. Fastball hits the outside corner, 0-1. Banuelos' velocity on his fastball seems to be topping out around 92, 93. Doesn't seem to be that aggressive in holding on runners, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt Klein test him here. 0-1 pitch, tried to check his swing, but Komatsu couldn't hold up on a breaking ball, and the count's 0-2. Now, working against the notion of Matt trying to steal second is that while he's on first, the first baseman, Trent Lockwood, has to hold him on, and that leaves the right side open for Komatsu, who's a left-handed hitter and a contact hitter. So Bob Missick, coaching over at third, might have the red light out, but we'll see. 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses way away, and the count's 1-2. In fact, the catcher, Myron Leslie, was set up a good 5-6 inches off the outside corner of the plate. 1-2. There's a throw over to first and Klein back standing. The outfield alignment for Tampa pretty much straight away, although playing shallow for Komatsu. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball up and in, almost hit Komatsu, and he ducks away, and the count's 2-2. The old rule of thumb, of course, is if the pitch is up and in, the next one is down and away. But then, as they also said in Bull Durham, watch her up and in again. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't Bull Durham. That was Field of Dreams, the other Kevin Costner movie, 2 of his 3 baseball movies. Swung on and missed on an inside breaking ball, strike 3. That was the big scene at the end of Field of Dreams when the young Moonlight Graham gets to face one of the old-time pitchers who throws him up and in, and then he gets the advice from one of his teammates to watch. It should be down and away, but watch her up and in again. Some night I'll have to do my research and we'll talk about baseball movies. There goes the runner. First pitch is high. Throw down to second. Klein is in with his second stolen base of the night. The pitch was a fastball high and away. Leslie got his throw down there, but it was to the right side of the bag. And Klein has his second stolen base of the night. Well, we said Nat came in 6 for 16. So he's starting to balance that out now. He's 8 for 18. 1-0 pitch. Is a fly ball up the alley in left center field. Is it going to fall? No. Over there is Flores to catch it for the final out. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. After 3, we have a 1-1 tie. In fact, the line score identical for both sides. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors. We were waiting to see on MILB.com the official ruling on that play at home plate in the top of the third, whether it was a wild pitch or a pass ball. And the official ruling is that it was a pass ball charged to Michael Roberts that allowed Myron Leslie to score and tie the game. If I recall correctly, if a run scores on a pass ball, then it's an unearned run, because it seems rather unfair to charge the pitcher for something that wasn't his fault. I suppose if I want to be serious about being a broadcaster, which I'm not a professional broadcaster, as we said, we're just doing this for free for 15 home games this year to allow Manatee fans and parents of loved ones of players at other teams in the league to have an opportunity to hear their loved ones play from time to time. But if I was more serious about it, I really need to go take a read through the rule book and brush up on things like when a run is earned if it scores on things like a pass ball or a wild pitch. I have an email from Stephen Scott Bonnick in New York City saying that he's listening online. Stephen, thank you very much for listening. Got to admit that I very much fall in the category of thinking of the Yankees as evil empire, but at the same time, I also very much admire the tradition and history that goes with the Yankees. Just need to let other teams win once in a while, you know. I'd love to see a World Series one year that featured the Kansas City Royals and the Pittsburgh Pirates, the two sad sacks in the major leagues, because I think it would do a world of good for both those franchises. But you know, the television ratings for the World Series would be terrible. All right, top of the fourth, 1-1 tie. Corbin Joseph followed by Bradley Suttle and Melky Mesa. Lefty against lefty. First pitch by Merklinger. Fastball misses inside, 1-0. Joseph lined out to the shortstop, Josh Prince, to end the first inning. Outfield lineman pretty much straight away. 1-0 pitch is a high fly ball to right field. Scott Krieger giving chase to it to the wall, and it is gone. In fact, it goes over the upper of those two fences we talked about, and it bounces off the aluminum roof of a storage warehouse behind the right field wall. So Corbin Joseph has his 6th home run of the year. That's the 6th home run given up by Daniel Merklinger in 2010. And the Tampa Yankees take a 2-1 lead. I wonder if you Yankee fans listening think that these guys should be called the Tampa Bombers. Fastball hits the outside corner, 0-1 to Brad Suttle, who grounded out the third, his first time up. 0-1 pitch. Same pitch, same result. Outside corner, 0-2. Talking about the history and tradition of the New York Yankees. The Tampa Yankees play in Steinbrenner Field, which is a spring training home of the New York Yankees. Fastball misses away, 1-2. We called one of the playoff games last year between the Manatees and the Yankees from Steinbrenner Field. It was game one. Here's a grounder of one hop down to short. Josh Prince across the diamond over to Halton for the first out.
All right, fans, once again, time to welcome our beer banner of the evening, presented by Bud Light. It's center fielder, 29, Melky Mesa.
So with one out, that'll bring up the center fielder, Melky Mesa, who hit a foul out over to first, his first time up. First pitch is a fastball down low, but it's in the strike zone, 0-1. Steinbrenner Field, the spring training home of the New York Yankees, fastball inside corner, 0-2. And it's built to resemble the now deceased Yankee Stadium that was built next to the new ballpark in the Bronx. There's a grounder down to short. Josh Prince gobbles it up, goes over to first, and there's two down.
The designated hitter, number 35, Zoilo Almonte.
It even has that famous, and it's spelled Frieze, and I think it's pronounced freeze, that was similar to what has hung from the overhang at Yankee Stadium ever since it was built in the 1920s. First pitch, swung on and missed, 0-1. As we said earlier, the Baseball America review of Melky is that he's very much a free swinger. But Steinbrenner Field has a capacity of about 11,000. Swung on a miss and the count's 0-2, which gives the Tampa Yankees the highest capacity of any ballpark in the Florida State League. Merklinger steps off the rubber. Next pitch is fouled off the first base side behind the Manatees dugout, and the count remains 0-2. Mesa coming into the game with 254 at-bats, 69 strikeouts, 25 walks. 0-2 pitch, way inside, and the count's 1-2. But it was very much an impressive facility and certainly reflects the philosophy of the Steinbrenner family that not only are the New York Yankees to be the class of baseball, but the same going for in the minor leagues. Pitch is swung on and missed, dropped by Roberts, who tosses it down to Halton at first for the final out.
All right, fans, time to get on your feet. Let's see how loud you can sing.
So it's the third strikeout from Merklinger, as Almonte is retired 2-3. But the leadoff homer by Corbin Joseph gives the Tampa Yankees a 2-1 lead going to the bottom of the fourth. Steinbrenner Field opened in 1996, but the Tampa Yankees were created 2 years before, in 1994, and they won the Florida State League Championship that year, and in 2001 and in 2004. According to the Tampa Yankees website, many current Yankee players have made rehab starts for the Tampa Yankees at Steinbrenner Field, including Derek Jeter and Roger Clemens, which I'm sure makes Tampa Yankee fans happy, but I would think New York Yankee fans would rather have them back in the Bronx. In addition to being the home of the Tampa Yankees and, of course, the spring training home of the New York Yankees, it's also the home of the Hillsborough Community College Hawks. And I've got to think that if you're playing community college, it's got to be pretty cool to be playing in Steinbrenner Field. As we said, capacity there is about 11,000. The capacity here is 7,500. There are quite a few stadiums in this league that are actually the spring training home of their parent club. But as we said, a bit of an exception here because it's the National spring training home, but it's a Brewers affiliate. Back in the days when the Nationals were the Montreal Expos, this was the Class A, advanced Class A affiliate of the Expos. And before that, when this was the home of the Florida Marlins, it was a Marlins affiliate. All right, 2-1 Yankees as we go to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be the number 5 hitter, Sergio Miranda, followed by Brock Helgard and Scott Krieger. Sergio struck out in the first. First pitch by Banuelos. Fastball down low, ball 1. The reading on the radar had Banuelos at 92. The radar gun is on a pole behind home plate. 1-0 pitch, swung on, and Moranic gets just a piece of it, and it rolls foul back towards the Yankee dugout on the third base side, and the count's 1-1. The radar seems to be pretty good when it's an accurate number, and every once in a while we'll see an anomalous reading. 1-1 pitch. It's a grounder down to short. Perella gobbles it up, goes on to first for the out. Every once in a while you'll see something you're sure is a fastball, especially from someone like Banuelos throwing 92, 93. And the radar reading on the scoreboard out in left field will say 60. And you're thinking, well, maybe you're getting the catcher's throw on the way back, but no, he hasn't thrown it back. First pitch to Kelgard, breaking ball darts in, ball 1. So, rule of thumb I follow looking at those numbers is that if it looks like a legit number, I believe it, but if it seems bizarre, I discard it. Next pitch is down on the dirt, looks like a breaking ball, and it counts 2-0. Radar guns, some are better than others, and I'm not knocking the brand, it's more where the radar gun is placed in the ballpark. 2-0 pitch is inside. Kelgard checks his swing and gets a piece of his bat, and it rolls foul on the first base side, and it counts 2-1. Those of you who have listened before to the webcast know I moved here a year ago from Southern California, where I worked with California League teams for many years, and one of which in particular, Rancho Cucamonga, I'm thinking of, they mounted the radar gun up on the front of the press box. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch off the outside of the plate, and the count goes 2-2. So because the radar gun was way up on the front of the press box, typically the readings seem to be 2 or 3 miles an hour off. 2-2 pitch is a grounder down to Perella, the shortstop, on a hop across to Lockwood, 2 down. So Perella gets the first 2 outs of the inning.
The right fielder, number 47, Scott Krieger.
And that brings up right fielder Scott Krieger, who flied out to left to lead off the bottom of the second. First pitch by Banuelos. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Manuel's next pitch swung on, and it's a foul ball over on the right side. Looks like it just cleared the press box. Yes, it did, and the count's 1-1. As we said, Banuelos started the year late due to injury. He had 2 starts in the Gulf Coast League in late June. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count goes 1-2. He started for the Gulf Coast League Yankees on June 21st against the Pirates. Worked 2 innings and allowed 1 run. Then on June 25th, well, there's a Bob Uecker just a bit outside fastball that went all the way to the backstop on the fly, and the count's 2-2. On June 25th against the Phillies in their Clearwater affiliate, he worked 3 innings, did not allow a run, only 1 hit. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed on a changeup for the final out, and he knew it because as soon as he threw it, Banuelos started walking off the field. He was that confident in the pitch. 1, 2, 3 go the Manatees in the bottom of the 4th, and after 4th, the Tampa Yankees 2, the Brevard County Manatees 1. We have 2 minor leagues here in Florida. The higher level is the Florida State League, which is what the Manatees and the Tampa Yankees are in. It's called Advanced Class A. And at the same time, we have what's called the Gulf Coast League, and that's what's called Rookie A, which is the lowest level. If you're not familiar with how the different levels in minor league baseball work, there's essentially 6 levels. From the top to the bottom is AAA, AA, Advanced or High Class A, then low or just basic, or sometimes now it's even called full Class A, although I think that's a little strange because advanced Class A is also full A. Anyway, below that are the short season leagues that start mid to late June after the June draft. And within those short season levels, there are various classifications. Some are called short A, some are called advanced rookie A, some are just called rookie A. But, there really isn't much difference at that level other than short A is maybe implicitly for a little bit more advanced players, but these days it really doesn't mean that much. In any case, the Gulf Coast League rookie A players, that's the most basic level. Almost all organizations have, in the baseball vernacular, what are called camp teams that play out of their minor league complexes, which are usually part of the spring training complex. And of course, there are a number of teams, think about 14 or 15, that have their spring training complexes in Florida, and the balance are out in Arizona around the Phoenix area. So they will play roughly a 56 to 60 game schedule against the other teams in those leagues, and they're down on the minor league fields, which aren't that much different from high school or maybe a community college field. But they are professional games, and the statistics do count. Top of the fifth, Yankees trying to add a 2-1 lead. Trent Lockwood, the first baseman, leads it off against Daniel Merklinger. First pitch is a fastball that he swings on and misses, 0-1. Lockwood fly to center his first time up. Now, as we said, we're at the spring training home of the Washington Nationals. Next pitch is a breaking ball down and away, and it counts 1-1. And when the Nationals leave here, the Manatees start playing. But across the parking lot from here to the north is the Nationals minor league complex. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and it counts 2-1. And the Gulf Coast League Nationals started play there a couple of weeks ago. 2-1 pitch is a high fly ball into straightaway right field. Scott Krieger now coming in a few steps and has it for the first out.
The catcher, number 51, Myron Leslie.
Now, I haven't been to every minor league complex, but every one I've ever been to, the Gulf Coast League or in Phoenix, the Arizona Summer League games, they are free. You can walk in and watch those games for free. Nobody's going to stop you. First pitch to the catcher, Myron Leslie, is an off-speed pitch swung on. He gets just a piece of it, and it bounces off of Michael Roberts, the catcher, and rolls away. Counts 0-1. Now, there's always a catch to a good deal, and the catch in those camp games is there are almost no amenities. Swings and misses at a breaking ball, and it counts 0-2. There are no concessions. There's usually a place to sit, maybe aluminum bleachers, and you may have to share those with the players who aren't playing that day. Yes, I know, that sounds terrible, getting to sit next to a ball player. Fastball high, and the count's 1-2. But those environments are very intimate, very informal. 1-2 pitch. Fastball outside corner, strike three call. 91 mile an hour fastball by Daniel Merklinger.
The left fielder, number 11, Ramon Flores.
For Dan, that's his fourth strikeout. And he hasn't walked anyone. So with two down on the top of the fifth, that brings us with number 9 hitter Ramon Flores takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. He flied out to right in the third. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball bounces away from Roberts, and the count goes 1-1. When I was in California, I had another website, still operated, FutureAngels.com, which covers the Angels minor leagues. And I loved driving out to Tempe, where the Angels minor league complex was, to see those summer league games. Swung on and missed on a fastball, and the count's 1-2. Now, the problem in Phoenix is that temperature is around 110 by midday. Breaking ball darts inside, and the count's 2-2. Scoreboard is showing 1-2, but I think it's 2-2. So a lot of those camp games are played in the morning, or here they're played at 12 noon. Pitches a fly ball down the left field line, racing over into foul territory as the third baseman Miranda, right in front of the tarp, gloves it for the final out. Little gold star for Sergio Miranda, racing down the left field line towards the tarp, rolled up against the stands. That foul ball was over his head, and he caught it like a wide receiver, one-handed in his glove for the final out. So the Yankees go 1-2-3 here in the top of the fifth. We go to the bottom of the fifth, and the Tampa Yankees lead the Brevard County Manatees by a score of 2-1. Once again, if you want to email me, the email address is home@spacecoastbaseball.com. That's home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Or you can go to the spacecoastbaseball.com homepage, and at the top there's a link you can click on that says, click here to email spacecoastbaseball.com. If you came in late for the webcast, it will be archived and available in its entirety tomorrow on the spacecoastbaseball.com homepage. And it will be there for about a week until our next webcast, which is Wednesday, July 14 at 7:05 Eastern Time against the Charlotte Stone Crabs. And all SpaceCoastBaseball.com webcasts are permanently archived on the website. To hear earlier games on the menu bar, click on Multimedia and then select Audio, and you'll see all the archives. Well, for a Disney night, I haven't seen anybody dressed up in Mickey gear at all.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, coming in to pitch for the Yankees, number 30, Noel Castillo.
We have a pitching change for the Tampa Yankees. The night is over for Manuel Banuelos, and I'll give you his final numbers in just a moment. The new pitcher is right-hander Noel Castillo, Castillo, wears number 30. Right-hander out of that famous baseball town, San Pedro de Marcari, in the Dominican Republic. For Banuelos, 4 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, and I count 5 strikeouts and only 1 walk. So we start off the bottom of the fifth with the Manatees trailing 2-1. It'll be Michael Roberts followed by Franklin Romero, and then the top of the lineup to Josh Prince. Righty against righty, and the first pitch by Castillo is inside, ball 1. The radar shows 94 miles an hour on that fastball. Roberts grounded out his first time up. Swings and pops it high on the infield. Second baseman Corbin Joseph calling for it and has it for the first out.
Center fielder, number 11, Franklin Romero.
So with 1 out, that brings up a number 9 hitter, Franklin Romero, who popped out to first to end the second inning. First pitch by Castillo, fastball missed high, and the count's 1-0, and the radar says 95. .10 pitch, checks his swing, and then catches a piece of the handle of the bat and rolls foul on the right side, and the count goes 1-1. Castillo's 9th appearance in relief for Tampa, 1-1 with a 3.60 ERA. In 10 innings, 9 strikeouts, 6 walks, given up 8 hits. 1-1 pitch. Checks his swing again. This one rolls foul up the first baseline, where it's handled by the first base coach, Dwayne Hosey. Hose over there at first, very demonstrative, loves to interact with the fans. Always chatting, pointing, laughing. having a great time. But he's also a good teacher. Don't mistake his affable demeanor for lack of seriousness. Next pitch is a fastball, misses away, and it counts 2-2. On deck is Josh Prince. Castillo working from the stretch even with nobody on. The 2-2 pitch is a little looper over to Lockwood at first, who catches it for the second out. He jammed Romero, and the ball headed off in the opposite direction to right field, but right to Lockwood. So we go back to the top of the lineup with a shortstop, Josh Prince, who singled and scored in the bottom of the first, the only run for the Manatees, and lined out to second in the third inning. Castillo's first pitch is a 96-mile-an-hour fastball down low, 1-0. Third baseman Subtle about even with the bag, good 20 feet or so off of the foul line. 1-0 pitch. It's a little fly ball foul on the first baseline, drifting into the stands, and it goes down a runway. Space Coast Stadium, as we said, is horseshoe-shaped, and there is a walkway that goes the entire perimeter from one end to the other, from foul pole to foul pole. Below that walkway is about 1/3 of the seats, and the other 2/3 above. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch, and the count's 1-2. Every seat in the lower third is a navy blue box seat. In the upper section, about 2/3 of the way down are box seats, but in the last two sections, they're aluminum seats. 1-2 pitch, checked his swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. So Josh Prince is called out looking. And after 5, Tampa Yankees holding on to a 2-1 lead. We have a promotion on the field right now. It's called Who Let the Dogs Out. You can hear the music in the background. The basic premise behind that is that the fans can line up at the gate right next to the 404 sign in left field or in center field. I hate to think it was 404 to left field. 404 to center field. And at the end of the fifth, the gate is opened and our mascot, Manny the Manatee, races out, followed by the people who are lined up, most of whom are children, but you do see a few adults and teenagers out there. And if you're lucky, they go without incident, although a little girl just fell down out there. I've told the story before, but I'll always remember one game here last year where they did this, and an older, rather rotund man came out with a beer in each hand and was waddling across the field, and it must have taken him 3 minutes to get from that gate out to the gate beyond the visitor dugout, which is where they get off the field. And I thought, well, this is one of those ideas that maybe needs a little bit of refinement. Most of the time it goes well. All right, top of the sixth, Yankees leading the Manatees 2-1. Daniel Merklinger still on the mound. It'll be the top of the lineup for Tampa. Ray Crummell, followed by Jose Perella and Corbin Joseph. A reminder that, as I've said before, these games are done voluntarily by SpaceCoastBaseball.com. We're doing only 15 home games this year, and the Manatees not pay us to do it. It's strictly volunteering. So if you enjoy what you hear and you enjoy the videos and the photos that are on SpaceCoastBaseball.com and you want to support what we do, please consider making a one-time voluntary contribution or signing up for a voluntary $5 a month subscription. For those of you who've contributed before, it's very much appreciated. But every bit helps, and certainly as you'll see with the photos and video, that equipment costs a lot of money. The camcorder that I used for the videos passed away unexpectedly at the beginning of the season, and I had to go out and buy a new one. And being unemployed, we're still trying to catch up on the payments on that. So, not to lay a guilt trip on any of you, certainly knowing what the economy is, but in any case, every bit helps, and I just want to give you a little bit of a nudge that if you haven't contributed yet, to please consider doing so. All right, top of the sixth, Ray Crummell waiting for the first pitch from Daniel Merklinger. He swings and loops down the third baseline and falls foul behind the Yankee dugout on the third base side. Sergio Miranda showing a lot of hustle, heading straight for the railing, protecting the dugout. But it fell beyond his reach, 0-1. Miranda playing almost in on the lip of the grass. Maybe one step or two off. 0-1 pitch to Crummell. Line drive foul on the third base side up in the upper level of the seats. Luckily, nobody's sitting there. We had a game a couple of webcasts ago where line drive foul was hit about the same place, and it grazed an older lady sitting in the stands. Merklinger started in his windup and then thought better of it. Perhaps the umpire at home, Joe Bourne, had already called time, and that's why he stepped off. 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses away, and the count's 1-2. Daniel seems to be working mostly off the third base side of the rubber. He has his left foot, which is his pivot foot, on the third base side of the rubber. 1-2 pitch, same play, same result, 2-2. It's always interesting to see how some pitchers work one side of the rubber, some work the other side, some stand right in the middle. 2-2 pitch is a line drive into center field. Racing in for it is Romero, but it falls for a base hit. So Ray Crummell is on with his second single of the game. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Jose Perella, who's doubled and struck out. Merklinger, working from the stretch, looks over at Crummell, and the first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. Perella showed bunt, but didn't follow through on it. Crummell at first, 5 for 6 in stolen base attempts, and this is only his 10th game, so he certainly seems inclined to run. 0-1 pitch, fastball outside corner, 0-2. Miranda playing even with the bag at third, so certainly they're not expecting a bunt with an 0-2 count. There's a throw over to first, and back standing is Crummell. 0-2 pitch, there goes the runner, swung on, and, well, let's see, they're going to, it's an out. He swung on a miss, strike 3. I was waiting to see if the home plate umpire, Joe Bourne, was going to rule that Perella got a piece of it and perhaps it was a foul ball. But apparently not. It just rolled away from Roberts. So credit a strikeout for Merklinger swinging on Perella. That would be the 5th strikeout for Merklinger. Crummell advances on the play. I'm going to assume that pass ball is credited to Roberts, and that brings up Corbin Joseph. Crummell takes his lead. Time's called, apparently by Joseph. Shortstop Josh Prince comes in to talk to Merklinger, perhaps about a play at second, with Crummell standing at second base. Joseph lined to short and hit the solo home run, lead off the 4th, that gave the Yankees a 2-1 lead. Lefty against lefty. The first pitch misses down low, 1-0. Prince darting in and out over there at short, behind the runner Crummell. Corbin, ranked number 13 in the Yankee system by Baseball America before the season began. Fastball hits the outside corner, 1-1. Now Corbin's having an excellent year, and I would expect that when the rankings come out a year from now, he's going to be a lot higher than number 13. But let me tell you what the prospect handbook had to say just before the spring training began for the Yankees. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, line drive up the middle, base hit. Racing in is Romero. Coming around third to score is Ray Crummell on the single by Corbin Joseph. And the Yankees now have a 3-1 lead.
The third baseman, number 36, Bradley Suttle.
Baseball America on Corbin Joseph said he has one of the purest swings in the system. He's short to the ball and long to the zone, and he has the strength to drive the ball. They said some scouts still question his bat, though, as the swing gets long, and they aren't sure how much power he'll produce. They also said that he profiled more as a second baseman instead of a third baseman, but that he had rough edges at second base, his more natural position. They said he'll need repetitions and agility work to become an average defender, and that he's an average runner. They also point out that the Yankees have a glut of second basemen, and noted that certainly nobody's going to be displacing Robinson Cano at second base for the Yankees anytime soon. Pitching coach Fred Dabney came out to talk to Merklinger. He's now retreating back to the Manatees dugout on the first base side. And that'll bring up third baseman Brad Suttle, who's grounded out twice, once to third and once to short. First pitch by Merklinger, breaking ball inside corner, strike one. Joseph 3 for 9 in stolen bases, so improbable that he'll be stealing, but you never know. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball down and in, and Michael Roberts blocks it, and the count goes 1-1. There's a token toss over to first. In fact, standing is Corbin Joseph. Now, obviously, I don't know the Yankee system that well, so I don't know who's ahead of him at Double-A, but I would think Corbin Joseph would probably get a taste of Trenton before the year is up. Next pitch is taken for a strike, and the count's 1-2. On deck is Melky Mesa. Merklinger decides to step off the rubber and take time. We cannot see the Manatees bullpen here at Space Coast Stadium. 1-2 pitch. Inside corner with a fastball. Strike three called. Sixth strikeout for Daniel Merklinger. I was about to say, we cannot see the Manatees bullpen. It's down the right field line, tucked behind the stands. So we cannot see if, when, and whether anybody is warming up. Melky Mesa at the plate. First pitch by Merklinger. Misses down and in with a fastball, 1-0. Murky fouled out to the first baseman and grounded to short. The visitors' bullpen runs parallel to the left field wall from the foul pole about a third of the way out into left field. 1-0 pitch. High fly ball to deep left field, giving ground as Kelgard into the corner. It's going to one-hop the fence and go into that Yankee bullpen for a ground rule double. So stopping at third is Corbin Joseph. And on second with a double is Melky Mesa. I promised you earlier that I would tell you what Baseball America had to say about Melky Mesa, and manager Bob Mythic is coming out to end the night for Daniel Merklinger. So while we wait to see who emerges from the Brevard bullpen, let me tell you more about Melky Mesa. According to Baseball America, he could be the system's top 5-tool player with a lean, wiry frame and loads of athletic ability. The problem, according to Baseball America, is that most scouts consider him a below-average hitter. He's a free swinger who is overly aggressive no matter what the count. One scout said that pitch recognition wasn't the problem, which gave hope that Mesa would make enough contact to be a regular. The ball jumps off his bat thanks to elite bat speed, and he crushes fastballs, which is what we just saw. He has the ability to put backspin on the ball, turning line drives into home runs. He's a plus runner who will have average speed once he fills out, and he has an above-average arm that should fit in right field. So that's what Baseball America has to say about Melky Mesa. We have a left-hander coming in to pitch for Brevard. With 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. The new pitcher is number 25, Daniel Meadows, and to Daniel's father, Steve Meadows, who's been a loyal listener all year long, and we've yet to get a game where his son came in to pitch. Well, it's finally happened. I told you he could run, but he couldn't hide. Lefty Daniel Meadows, M-E-A-D-O-W-S, number 25, 6'5", 235 pounds. Hometown is Fort Worth, Texas. Meadows making his 24th relief appearance of the year, 2-3 with a 3.63 ERA. He has 2 saves in 52 innings, 53 strikeouts, 14 walks. He's given up 6 home runs, 53 hits in those 52 innings. And if you're into the latest bad baseball statistic, which is WHIP, that's walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, he has a pretty good WHIP of 1.29 and the league batting .264 against him. WHIP, walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, was an attempt by the fans of a more statistical bent who were called sabermetricians to come up with what they felt was a more accurate measurement of a pitcher's ability than ERA. Floyd Almonte at the plate takes a breaking ball on the outside corner, 0-1. Almonte flied out to right and struck out. So the way WHIP would work would be if you had 10 innings. There's another breaking ball. He reaches out and pokes it into short right field. Scott Krieger is there to take it for the final out. So the Yankees had another run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and it's the Yankees 3, the Manatees 1. In any case, the way WHIP would work is that if you had 10 innings and a pitcher gave up 8 hits and 2 walks, that would be 10, and you divide 10 by the 10 innings pitched, and his WHIP would be 1. Now, the problem I have with that is that, let's say all 8 of those hits were home runs. Well, your WHIP might be 1, but your ERA is pretty ugly. So, no statistic is perfect, and you can't rely on one stat to tell you everything about one ball player. And as I often preach, numbers have to be taken in context. Thank you very much to the individual who just donated $25 to help with SpaceCoastBaseball.com. That's very much appreciated. In fact, the individual who donated just asked that, he says, you quote some statistics I don't seem to have access to. For example, number of double plays that a player is grounded into. He says, am I missing something, or do you have some special access? And the answer to, I think, both questions is yes and yes. Trying to not get too long-winded an answer. A couple of years ago, minor league baseball contracted with Major League Baseball Advanced Media to handle all the minor league statistics. Prior to that, they were handled for decades by House Sports Data. Another entity called, I think, Sports Ticker took it over for a couple of years, and then minor league baseball handed it over to Major League Baseball Advanced Media, or in the biz they're known as BAM. And they had already set up the database systems for tracking major league stats, so they just applied that technology to the minors. So the numbers are input before each game. Well, let me rephrase that. The lineups are input before each game by the official scorer, who then enters play-by-play into the system. There's a breaking ball that's inside, and did it hit Matt Klein? No, he walks away and it counts 1-0. Matt Klein has already been hit 13 times this year. That leaves the Florida State League. 1-0 pitch inside again, and the count's 2-0. In any case, as the play-by-play goes on, the official scorer is hooked up by the internet to BAM, and so each play goes into the system, and it's automatically calculated. Now, some of that data is available publicly. Fastball down the middle, 95 miles an hour, and the count's 2-1. And if you go to the minor league baseball website, MILB.com, on the menu bar it says stats, and you can tunnel down that way. You can also go over to the right where it says leagues and teams and get more specific over there. This is a fastball misses down low, 3-1. Now, in addition to all of that, there is a private area that the minor league teams have access to, and it requires a special login account and password that you have to request through the front office of a minor league team. Fastball misses away, ball 4. Leadoff walk for Matt Klein. And that'll bring up Eric Komatsu. In any case, the numbers are very much current. And before a game, a lot of minor league operations will prepare what's called a stat pack. So, for example, for tonight's game, I would go to Florida State League, and I can look up daily report if I was so inclined, and I could print out the stat pack. Fastball misses away to Komatsu, 1-0. It gives me the standings, the league leaders in pitching and batting, and I can look up defensive categories as well. It also has all the statistics for every team in the league. 1-0 pitch, fastball outside corner, 1-1. So a lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll print out a few copies of the stat pack and they'll have it in a bin in the press box for reporters, broadcasters, and anybody else who has a need for them. 1-1 pitch, fastball outside corner, and it counts 1-2. Now remember what I said about every once in a while the radar gives you an anomalous reading? That said his fastball was 53. I don't buy that. And in fact, the pitcher looked out to that radar, and I don't think Noel Castillo bought into that. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed on a 93 mile an hour fastball. And that's the second strikeout for Castillo. 1 out, Klein still on first, and that'll bring up Sean Halton, 0 for 2, struck out looking and flied out to left. Matt already has 2 stolen bases tonight. So in any case, if you have access to the private area, there's a lot of data in there you can slice and dice. First pitch swung on and missed. It looked like Castillo took a little bit off of that pitch. It looked like maybe it was, maybe he just throttled his speed on his fastball, because I don't want to say it certainly wasn't a slider. It was too fast for a changeup. It was 87. So he must have taken something off the pitch. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. And again, now the radar is telling us that was 53. 0-2. You can go into the private stats section and you can look up box scores for every game going back, I think it's 6-7 years now. There goes Klein at second, and he's cut off and thrown out for the out. That goes 1-3-6. Klein took off a beat too early while Castillo was in his stretch. And Castillo threw over to Lockwood at first, who threw down to the shortstop Perella for the out. So Matt going 1-3-6. 2 for 3 now in the stolen base department. Count remains 0-2 to Halton. But as I said, it's a great historical archive of data, and there's also some obscure data. Time called as the catcher, Leslie, heads up to talk to Castillo. You can find defensive statistics. It's not real thorough, but for example, if you want to know what a catcher's success rate is at throwing out runners, you can look that up. You don't see the more esoteric statistical numbers that, as I said, the sabermetrics people get into. 0-2 pitch to Halton, swing and a miss at a breaking ball, like maybe it was a slider that swept away from him. Third strikeout for Castillo. No runs, no hits, a walk. The runner erased on a pickoff throw. nobody left, and after 6, the Yankees still lead the Manatees by a score of 3-1. So in any case, you're asking where you can find that more esoteric data. And it's been a while since I poked around in the public section of MILB.com in the statistics area. So you might want to look in there yourself, both for individual teams, and try under the general category of statistics. You might also go to the league sites, click on leagues on the menu bar, and see if they'll give you the league leaders in some of those categories. I know there are third-party sites out there that charge you for the privilege of looking up advanced statistical data. Probably the lead on that is baseballprospectus.com. And I think you have to pay $40 a year to subscribe to that service. Most of the articles posted on that site are written by people like me who are not professionals but know a little bit about the game. But most of the articles on that site are very much of a statistical bent. And some of them can get a little bit off the wall, along the lines of, well, I can prove that an elephant can dangle from the end of a daisy growing on the side of a cliff. But we all know in the real world that wouldn't happen. But I know they do a lot more statistical analysis than the basic stuff that's online. Top of the 7th, the Yankees trying to extend a 3-1 lead. Daniel Meadows still on the mound. First pitch misses down and away, and the count's 1-0. Lockwood flied out twice, once to center, once to left. Lefty against lefty. Pitch misses again, low and away, and the count's 2-0. That one was clocked at 86. 2-0 pitch. Fastball missed down and low, and the count's 3-0. Daniel's gone there 3 times, and Lockwood has resisted each time. Infield playing pretty deep for Lockwood. 3-0 pitch. Breaking ball hits the outside corner, and the count's 3-1. Halton at first, Klein at second, and Prince at short, all right in the lip of the grass. 3-1 pitch. It's a ground ball down to second, a couple of hops to Klein, over to Halton at first for the out.
The catcher, number 51, Myron Leslie.
So with 1 out, that'll bring up the catcher, Myron Leslie, who singled and scored in the 3rd and struck out looking in the 5th. First pitch is a fastball. Excuse me, no, not a fastball. It was a changeup that missed 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed at an 86-mile-an-hour fastball up at his eyes, and the count's 1-1. We didn't give you the final official line on Daniel Merklinger. 1-1 pitch. Line drive foul down the 3rd baseline. It ricochets off the tarp back onto the field, and the count's 1-2. For Daniel Merklinger, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. 7 hits in 5 2/3 innings. 6 strikeouts and no walks. Still the pitcher of record for Brevard. 1-2 pitch. Fastball down and away, and the count goes 2-2. 2-2 pitch. There's a fly ball down the right field line. Racing over to the foul line is Krieger, but it bounces into the stands. 2-2. Well, as I said at the beginning of the game, Daniel Merklinger pitched the last webcast we did last week, and I thought he pitched better than the numbers showed, and I think the same goes for tonight. The one big mistake was the dinger he gave up to Corbin Joseph. 2-2 pitch is a line drive right at Sergio Miranda at third for the out. So that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, left fielder Ramon Flores, who flied to right and fouled out to third. I'm really starting to develop a fondness for Sergio Miranda's playing abilities. Michael Roberts blocks the pitch behind the plate, down and away, and it counts 1-0. He's shown his versatility playing second base and third base tonight. A lot of hustle on the field, makes excellent contact. Flores swings and misses on an off-speed pitch, and the count goes 1-1. Miranda originally was signed by the Chicago White Sox, and a couple of springs ago they just sent him to the Brewers for future considerations, and he's made quite a career for himself, and I could see him projecting now as a utility player in the big leagues for the Brewers or some other organization if that's the way it works out, but he shows a lot of hustle on the field. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch, and the count goes 1-2. Miranda and Klein have flip-flopped in the defense. Here's a fly ball into center field. Coming in for the final out is the center fielder, Franklin Romero. So Daniel Meadows retires the Yankees 1-2-3 in the top of the seventh. We go to the stretch half of the seventh. It's the Yankees 3, the Manatees 1. I'm going to stick the headset out the window and let you listen, and I'll be back in a bit.
We hope you're enjoying Disney night. Don't forget tomorrow the Yankees will take on the Dunedin Blue Jays in the start of a 3-game series. First pitch at 7:05. It'll be college alumni night. So show off your school pride by wearing college apparel. And when you do, you'll get $2 off your ticket.
Sergio Miranda leading off here in the bottom of the seventh for the Manatees, who trail 3-1. We're just about at the 2-hour mark in this game. Well, I know the clock is fast here in the stadium. It says 9:04, and I'm going to go by my cell phone, which says 8:58. In any case, first pitch misses outside, 1-0. Game moving fast. We're not even 2 hours into the game, and we're already in the bottom of the seventh. 1-0 pitch misses down low, and the count's 2-0. Miranda struck out and grounded out to short. The switch hitter batting left-handed against Castillo. 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses away, and the count's 3-0. Nobody warming up in the Tampa bullpen. I started to talk about that bullpen earlier. If someone's warming up, we can only see them from about the letters up. Fastball inside corner, and the count goes 3-1. So the Manatees bullpen down the right field line is obscured by the stands, as it's tucked behind the end of the stands there. And the visitor bullpen, there's ball four to Sergio Miranda, leadoff walk. The visiting bullpen runs parallel to the left field wall from the foul line about a third of the way out. And when somebody's warming up, about all you can see is that pitcher from the letters up, and it's almost impossible to tell who it is other than left-handed versus right-handed. They do have some stands out there for the pitchers and bullpen catchers to sit on. First pitch to
Kelgard is fouled over on the right side. It'll fall into the stands, and the count's 0-1. So they can look up over the fence down there and see what's going on. But you also see players typically who will just lean over the top of the fence and watch too, and so I'm assuming they must have something to step on up there. I'm going to have to go out there and check sometime. Kelgard swings and misses on an off-speed pitch, and the count goes 0-2. Brock, 0-2, struck out looking and grounded out to short. Now Sergio Miranda over at first, 6 for 8 in stolen bases. 0-2 pitch, swung on a miss, strike 3, snap throw down to first, and Sergio back in diving, and he's safe. So Kelgard strikes out for the second time.
The right fielder at 47, Scott Krieger.
And that'll bring up the right fielder, Scott Krieger, 0-2, flying out to left and struck out. First pitch by Castillo is taken down low, 1-0. They're stirring in the Tampa bullpen. Someone is throwing. It's a right-hander, but we can't tell who it is. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count's 1-1. Well, I know one thing for sure. If that pitcher warming up in the bullpen switches from the right side to the left side, you know it's Pat Venditti. Fastball taken down low, and the count's 1-1. Leslie faked a throw down to first, but Miranda back standing. Pat Venditti is the bullpen pitcher for Tampa that can throw both left and right-handed, and he has a special glove that lets it switch back and forth. And this is his second year with Tampa, and quite frankly, I'm surprised he hasn't moved up to Double-A right now because he has such excellent numbers. 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses inside, 3-1. Venditti won Game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. And I took both still photos and video of him pitching, both of which will be up on spacecoastbaseball.com fairly soon. 3-1 pitch is a fly ball into right field. Giving ground is the right fielder Crummell, who has it for the out. And Miranda back to first. So if by chance the Venditti family is out there listening, or somebody knows the Venditti family, let them know that there'll be video of Pat on spacecoastbaseball.com sometime the next couple of days. I kind of want to prioritize that because he is such a unique talent. Michael Roberts steps in, 0-2. First pitch by Castillo, swung on a miss, 0-1. Roberts grounded to the first baseman and popped out to second. Sergio Miranda led off the inning with a walk, but he's been stranded there ever since. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Manatees trailing Tampa 3-1. Fastball misses away, and the count's 1-1. Time call as Leslie goes out to talk to Castillo. Now, I was talking about Venditti and wondering why he hasn't moved up yet. And maybe if there are any Yankee fans out there who are knowledgeable, you can let me know. He's worked in 24 relief games, 1-0, with a 1.84 ERA. In 44 innings, 51 strikeouts, 10 walks, and only 1 home run given up. Now, I noticed that he doesn't do what you'd always think is pitch left-handed to left-handed batters and right-handed to right-handed batters. Sometimes he does it a little bit differently. 1-1 pitch is sliced foul down the right field line, curling back into the aluminum bleachers when the count's 1-2. Against left-handed batters, Venditti, they're batting 178 against him. Right-handers batting 198 against him. His numbers seem fairly similar from both sides, although they seem to hit with a little bit more overall power against him from the right side. Here's a hard grounder on a hop to Suttle, who bobbles it, keeps it in front of him, goes on to first to Lockwood for the final out. So Sergio Miranda's leadoff walk goes for naught. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. And at the 2-hour mark of the game, it's the Yankees 3 and the Manatees 1, 7 innings gone by. As we go to the top of the eighth, once again, a reminder, plenty of time left in the 2010 season for the Brevard County Manatees. So if you live in the Brevard area, or even if you're over in Tampa and you want to drive over for the next time that the Yankees come calling, you are most welcome here. And single game tickets are $7 each. General admission, you can sit anywhere you want that doesn't have a yellow sticker on it. And if you are a college student or in the military with ID, you can get in for just $5. You can either buy tickets at the box office when you arrive, or you can go to the Manatees website and order in advance at www.manateesbaseball.com, or you can call the box office at area code 321-633-9200. That's area code 321-633-9200. We have another pitching change for the Manatees. So Brian Meadows is done for the ninth. The new pitcher is number 14, left-hander Brandon Ritchie. So for Brian Meadows, he faced 4 batters and retired all 4 of them. No strikeouts, no walks. For Ritchie, this is his 22nd appearance of the year. He actually had 2 starts, 2-5 with a 7.24 ERA. In 41 innings, he's given up 61 hits, struck out 19 and walked 32, and he's given up 3 home runs. In the top of the 8th, we go to the top of the lineup with Ray Crummell, followed by Jose Perella and Corbin Joseph. As we were saying, Tampa Yankee fans, think about coming over the next time that the Yankees come to visit. That's in August on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. First pitch by Brandon Ritchie is a bunt attempt by Crummell, and it rolls foul, 0-1. We'll be webcasting the Wednesday, August 25th game, and that will be the final webcast of the year by SpaceCoastBaseball.com. The last of 15 webcasts, unless something changes. Here's a line drive up the alley in left center field. Well, no, it dies. Josh Prince is there for the out. I thought that was going to carry more, but it just died. And Josh Prince wound up maybe no more than 3 or 4 steps out on the grass. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the second base, or the shortstop, Jose Perella. 1 for 3. He's doubled and struck out twice. First pitch by Ritchie is a fastball that darts inside, 1-0. The webcast schedule for the remainder of the season is on SpaceCoastBaseball.com. Fastball misses away, the count's 2-0. If you go to the home page and on the menu bar click on BC Manatees, you'll see one of the options says webcast schedule. 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses down and away, and the count's 3-0. On deck, Corbin Joseph. 3-0 pitch. Fastball misses away, ball 4. And Perella reaches base for the second time.
The second baseman, 2, Corbin Joseph.
So Perella on first with 1 out, and then I'll bring up Corbin Joseph. Perella, threat to run at first. He's 11 for 15 in stolen base attempts. Off a couple of steps from first, being held on by Halton. First pitch to Joseph, hard grounder down the second. Klein to Prince for 1. On to Halton, double play. Pitcher's best friend, 4-6-3, double play. No runs, no hits, a walk, nobody left. And as we go to the bottom of the 8th, it's the Yankees 3 and the Manatees 1. We have done, I think, 8 webcasts so far and the Florida State League All-Star game. One of the webcasts against Bradenton was rained out, and in those remaining 7 games, the Manatees are 6-1, which certainly is better than the team's overall record. And I spoke to several of the players and coaches about that yesterday, and I said, hey, look, I'm 6-1. So either I'm doing something right, or this law of averages is going to catch up pretty soon. And right now, the Manatees here in the bottom of the 8th, trailing 3-1. So as usual, I probably jinxed it with my big mouth. Night is over for Noel Castillo. New pitcher for the Tampa Yankees is number 17, and I believe that's newly arrived Craig Heyer. Right-hander, 6'3", 195, 24 years old, out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Craig's last name is spelled H-E-Y-E-R. Hopefully the Heyer family is listening in Scottsdale. I talked to Craig before the game, and he mentioned he had just arrived, presumably from Charleston, the level below in the Yankee system. And we were talking about mutual acquaintances in the baseball world in the Phoenix area. And he mentioned that his father likes to listen to the games on the internet, so hopefully Mr. Heyer out there in Scottsdale, where it's only 6:15 or so, which means, well, maybe not quite 100 degrees, but probably pretty close to it. But Craig's coming into pitch here in the bottom of the 8th to protect a 3-1 lead. It'll be the number 9 hitter, Franklin Romero, and then the top of the lineup with Josh Prince and Matt Klein. First pitch by Heyer. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Romero popped out twice to the first baseman. Center fielder Mesa's about 10 feet into right center. Next pitch is down low, and the count's 2-0 to Romero. Brad Suttle at third, playing a couple of steps behind the bag. In fact, he takes a couple steps back even more. 2-0 pitch to Romero. Fastball hits the outside corner, 2-1. Radar says that was 91 miles an hour. Fairly shallow for Romero in the outfield. 2-1 pitch is a chopper over Heyer to the second baseman Joseph, on to Lockwood at first for the out.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming in to pitch for the Yankees, number 17, Craig Heyer.
So we go to the top of the lineup to the shortstop, Josh Prince, who's singled, lined out to second, and struck out looking. I'm noticing as the season's going by that we're seeing more high hops on the infield when the batters pound the ball down on the dirt, and I think that's just because the summers are getting pretty hot and the infield's getting baked. First pitch is sliced down the first baseline, curling into the stands. Nope, it's going to bounce off the aluminum overhang and roll out on the other side to the concourse. 0-1 pitch. It's a grounder down the third, backhanded by Suttle behind the bag. Long throw up to first. He pulled Lockwood off, but Trent did the toe tap and got back on the bag just in time to record Josh Prince. Hitting coach Dwayne Hosey is coaching over at first, was standing right there, and he's having an animated chat with infield umpire Jeff Morrow, but Dwayne Hosey has an animated chat with everybody, so I don't think he's complaining at all. They're probably just joking about it. So 2 down, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Matt Klein, who's singled and walked twice. Right-hander against right-hander. Heyer's first pitch. Klein shows a bunt, and the pitch is taken outside, 1-0. Showing the bunt caused Suttle to charge just a little bit, and For a right-handed hitter, sometimes what that'll do is that'll get the third baseman to come in maybe a step or more, and that might be the difference on a line drive down the line. 1-0 pitch. Fastball taking the inside corner, 1-1. The first and the third baseman both playing a good 15, 20 feet off the lines. Center field Mesa, a good 15 feet into right center. Fastball taken outside corner, and the count's 1-2. In this league, we seem to see a lot of center fielders play the opposite way, and I think that's just the thinking is that in this league that a lot of guys can't necessarily get around on a pitch, or maybe the pitcher's just going to work them the opposite way, like with that pitch, which is a breaking ball down and away, and the count's 2-2. So Craig Heyer, one pitch from getting out of the inning. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, he gets just a piece of it. It rolls to the backstop, and the count remains 2-2. When the Tampa Yankees are in town, we usually see a few people wearing hats or shirts that indicate they're Yankees fans. I haven't seen anybody tonight, though. 2-2 pitch. Pokes it the opposite way down to Corbin Joseph at second, who goes on to Lockwood for the final out. So Craig Heyer records 3 ground outs to get the Manatees in the bottom of the 8th. We'll go to the top of the 9th, and the Tampa Yankees lead the Manatees by a score of 3-1. Looks like we may have another pitching change here. So if that's the case, Brandon Ritchie worked only 1 inning, in which he got a pop out, gave up a walk, and then erased that runner on a 4-6-3 double play. The new pitcher for Brevard is number 27, right-hander Ruben Flores, 6'4", 170. Hopefully Ruben isn't outside should a hurricane arrive later this year, because at 6'4", 170, he is reed thin. Ruben making his 14th appearance for the Manatees in relief. 1-1 with a 3.38 ERA. In 16 innings, 12 strikeouts, 12 walks, has not given up a home run. 6 runs, 16 hits. The Tampa Yankees have someone throwing in their bullpen in the bottom of the 9th. I don't know if we'll see Craig Heyer come back for the 9th. Well, here we are in the 9th. 3-1 Tampa. Game again moving very quickly. And it's only about 9:19, 9:20 p.m., so 2 hours, 15 minutes into the game. We could be done 2 hours, 30 minutes into the game without passing judgment on which side wins. In the top of the 9th for Tampa, it'll be the cleanup hitter Brad Suttle, followed by Melky Mesa and Zoilo Almonte.
Leading off the Yankees in the top of the 9th inning, the third baseman, number 36, Bradley Suttle.
We were talking earlier about sources for statistical data, and there's another site that I want to mention as well. It's not current year data, I don't think, but it's an excellent source for historical data, and it's baseballreference.com. And the website is baseball-reference.com, spelled like it sounds, just with the hyphen there between the first and the second words. First pitch misses outside, 1-0. They're an excellent resource not just for Major League, but also minor league statistical data. 1-0 pitch is blocked by Roberts in the dirt, and the count goes 2-0. The defensive alignment again for the Manatees: Sean Halton at first, Matt Klein at second, Josh Prince at short, and Sergio Miranda at third. Next pitch by Flores is down and away, and the count's 3-0. Brevard's defense in the outfield: Brock Kelgard in left, Franklin Romero in center, and Scott Krieger in right. Michael Roberts behind the plate, calling the signals for Ruben Flores. Ruben's 3-0 pitch. Line drive down the right field line into the corner, and it hits the foul pole for a home run. A little bit of confusion on the infield, and I think it may have been because the umpires were not overtly demonstrative about whether or not it was a home run. And Manatees manager Bob Nissick coming out for an explanation. I can't see it can protest. To me, it was fairly obvious. The foul poles here both have banners on them that are in fair territory that honor our space program, commemorating the two shuttle orbiters lost in the line of duty, Columbia on the left foul pole and Challenger on the right foul pole. First pitch to Melky Mesa, down and in, ball one. By the way, the score now 4-1 Tampa. And that was clearly off of the orbiter Challenger, which is in fair territory. Breaking pitch swung on and missed, and the count's 1-1. In fact, you could hear the big clank off of the metal behind the banner when the ball hit it, because it was a line shot. 1-1 pitch, down and away, and the count's 2-1. So I didn't think there was any argument about whether or not it was fair and whether or not it was a home run. It clearly hit the foul pole in fair territory. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and a fastball, and the count's 2-2. For those of you outside of the region, Brevard County is known as the Space Coast because Kennedy Space Center is about 20 miles up the road from Space Coast Stadium. Line drive down the left field line, fair ball rolling into the corner. Racing over to field it is Kelgard, heading for second is Mesa. He's going to try for three. Here comes the relay throw. Nope, he's going to head back into second. Discretion being the better part of valor, and I think Yankees manager Torrey Tyson, who was coaching at third, must have put up a stop sign. He came around second base full speed, and I looked down into the corner to see where Kelgard was in terms of fielding the ball, and when I looked up, Mesa had started to retreat. So the first two batters have hit Flores hard. The first one a home run by Brad Suttle, and the second one a double by Melky Mesa. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Zoilo Almonte, 0 for 3. First pitch by Flores, fastball down and away, 0-1. Almonte flied to right, struck out and flied to right. Zoilo's first name, Zoilo, and I mentioned to a number of people in the last couple of days that it reminded me of the famous twin shortstop in the 60s, Zoilo Versalles. 1-0 pitch, breaking ball hits the outside corner, 1-1. And it's a sign of age because anybody I mentioned that name to who seemed to be under 30 looked at me blankly when I said Zoilo Versalles. I said most valuable player for the Minnesota Twins in 1965 when they won the World Series. I don't know who you're talking about. There's a breaking ball. He reaches out and pokes it the opposite way, and it goes foul into the stands on the left field side, and it counts 1-2. Now, am I right about the Twins winning the World Series in 1965, or was that the Dodgers? Well, hopefully somebody out there will email and remind me. I know the Dodgers played the Twins in 65, and they went 7 games, and then they played the Orioles in 1966 and went 4 games. Pretty sure the Orioles swept that one. Checks his swing, and did he go around? No, he didn't. The count's 2-2 to Zoilo Almonte. In any case, I was mentioning baseballreference.com, and I did a search on Zoilo to see if anybody else had ever played pro ball with the name Zoilo. 2-2 pitch,
swings at a fastball, gets just a piece of it, and it goes back into the net, and the count remains 2-2. In addition to Zoilo Versailles and Zoilo Almonte at the plate, there was a Zoilo Martinez who played for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the minor leagues 1981 to 84. Zoilo Martinez with St. Louis in 1983. I wonder if that's the same guy. 2-2 pitch, way inside, 3-2. Almonte almost had to fall flat on his face to avoid that one. And there was a Zoilo Sanchez in the Mets organization 1983 to 1990. See, I told you, BaseballReference.com, an excellent historical research tool. Mesa off a second. Throw back to second, and was Josh Prince there in time to apply the tag? Yes, he was. Well, something finally goes right in this inning for Ruben Flores. They caught Melky Mesa napping. Josh Prince slipped in behind him to cover the bag, and Flores' pickoff throw right on the money so that Prince could have tagged Mesa and record him for the first out. 3-2 pitch. Almonte reaches out and gets just a piece of it and fouls it back into the net, and the count remains 3-2. Almonte from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, and it's not unusual to see that Dominican players will try to hit anything at the plate, and Zoilo takes this pitch down and in, ball 4. But in the 13 years that I've been around minor league baseball, when you're dealing with young Dominican players, there's an old saying that you don't walk off the island. They play in largely very impoverished conditions, and they have to play with tools that are by no means regulation baseballs and bats and gloves. It's pretty much anything they can find, and they play on very rocky surfaces, which means that they're really good at defense because they have to learn how to handle balls that take odd hops. First pitch is a strike called to Trent Lockwood, but at the same time they swing at pretty much everything. They're just patience is not in the culture. Snap throw to first, and Almonte dives back in. Almonte only in his 9th game. He's 3 for 3 in stolen bases, though, so you'd think he'd be inclined to go, even with a 3-run lead. There he does go. Pitch is taken down low. The throw down to second, and Zoilo Almonte has his 4th stolen base of the year for Tampa. The pitch was down on the dirt, and Roberts hustled it down there as quickly as he could, but I didn't think he was going to have a chance to get Almonte once that ball was down on the dirt. Pickoff throw back to second. It worked before, but not this time. Flores and Josh Prince caught Melky Mesa napping. They tried the same thing with Almonte, but didn't work this time. Flores comes set, looks back at Almonte, and the 1-1 pitch to Lockwood is taken down and away, and the count is 2-1. Any last thoughts that you want to get in? Once again, you can email me at home@spacecoastbaseball.com. That's home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Or go to spacecoastbaseball.com and click on the email link at the top of the page. Next pitch is foul back into the net, and the count remains 2-2. 4-1 Tampa here in the top of the 9th. Brad Suttle led it off with a home run. Melky Mesa doubled, but then was picked off. Then Zoilo Almonte walked and stole second. 2-2 pitch to Lockwood is taken outside, and the count goes full, 3-2. On deck is the catcher, Myron Leslie. As we've mentioned before, we cannot see the Brevard bullpen way out behind the right field stands, so I don't know if Ruben Flores is on his own or if relief help might be available. 3-2 pitch. Fastball high and away, ball 4.
The catcher, 51, Myron Leslie.
Time call as catcher Michael Roberts goes out to talk to Flores, and here comes the pitching coach, Fred Dabney. Fred actually took a leave of absence from the Manatees earlier this year when the bullpen coach in Milwaukee had to go out for emergency surgery. So Fred functioned as the interim bullpen coach for the Brewers. And the Brewers organization assigned Steve Klein, no relation to Matt, as the interim pitching coach here until Fred Dabney was able to return. Fred is the only member of the 2009 coaching staff here to return. Mike Guerrero, who managed last year's team into the playoffs, is now at Double-A Huntsville. And Corey Hart, no relation to that other guy with the Brewers, is now coaching somewhere in the Astros system, I believe. All right, Myron Leslie at the plate with runners on first and second and one out. Singled, struck out, and lined out to third. Runners take their leads on the first pitch by Flores. Fastball away, ball one. Nobody currently throwing in the Tampa bullpen. And it may be that if the Yankees post another run, that they may let Hire just finish the game. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and he gets a piece of it and fouls it back into the net, and the count is 1-1. Certainly, you would think that Ruben Flores would like to get a double play ground ball to get him out of this inning. 1-1 pitch. Fastball way away, and the count's 2-1. In the 16 innings that Flores has worked for the Manatees this year, he's been involved in only 2 double plays. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball down and inside, and the count goes 2-2. Ruben's numbers seem to indicate he's more of a fly ball pitcher. We talked earlier about whip as one esoteric statistic, and another one they have now is the ratio of ground outs to all other outs. 2-2 pitch. Fastball up and away, 3-2. Ground outs to all other outs basically says if you had 10 outs, 6 of them are ground outs, the other 4 are not. 6 divided by 4 would be 1.5, which indicates you get a lot of ground outs. Ruben's ratio is 0.88, which indicates he tends to get more fly balls. There's another pickoff throw. Prince there trying to make the tag for Almonte, but it bounced off of Almonte as the two of them collided. And Josh Prince, bending over a little bit, seemed to rattle him just a bit. He's favoring his left knee, and I'm thinking that when Almonte came back in standing that they must have collided there at the left knee. The ball rolled away right to Matt Klein. Almonte made no effort to advance. Josh back at short. Almonte takes his lead off of second. Lockwood off first. The 3-2 pitches, the runners go. Swung on a miss. Throw down to third. Bounces, but did he get him in time? Yes, he did. Almonte gone 2-5, and Yankee manager Torrey Tyson comes over to talk to the infield umpire, Jeff Morrow. Rather demonstrative about it, pointing at the bag. He must have thought that because the ball bounced, that the third baseman, Miranda, didn't have time to apply the tag. But I've yet to see a manager convince an umpire to change his ruling. In any case, 2 pickoff. Well, let me get my facts straight here. Leslie strikes out for the second out, swinging, and then Almonte is thrown out 2-5, trying to steal third. So it's not a pickoff per se. He's caught stealing. Lockwood is left at first. 1 run, 2 hits, a walk. No errors and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and it's the Yankees 4 and the Manatees 1. Craig Hire is done for the night as a new pitcher comes in from the Tampa bullpen. It's a right-hander, number 20, and that'll be Jonathan Ortiz. So Hire got his job done in the 8th, recording 3 ground balls. And another one of those esoteric statistics that have been around the last couple of years is something called a hold, which basically means you weren't the closer, you came in relief, and you didn't give up the lead. Well, it is what it is. In any case, Jonathan Ortiz coming in to pitch in relief for the Yankees. He is their closer. 3-0 with a 2.56 ERA. 14 saves in 17 save opportunities. 31 2/3 innings. He's given up 22 hits. Struck out 32 and walked just 6. He has given up 2 home runs. And talking about our new statistical toy, ground outs to all other outs, his ratio is 0.77, which again tends to indicate that he's more of a fly ball pitcher. We talked earlier about whip, which is walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, and his is a minuscule 0.88, which means he allows less than 1 base runner per inning. And the league is batting 191 against him. Bottom of the ninth, Manatees trailing 4-1. It'll be Eric Komatsu, followed by Sean Halton, and third baseman Sergio Miranda. Eric, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, has singled and struck out twice. Third baseman Brad Suttle quite a bit of the way off the bag at third for the left-handed hitting Komatsu. And the first pitch by Ortiz, fastball outside corner, strike 1. Ortiz, like many relievers these days, works from the stretch even when nobody is on. Seems to have a very quick delivery. High leg kick, though, and the fastball misses outside, and the count is 1-1. One pitch. Breaking ball misses away, and the count's 2-1. 2-1 pitch at Komatsu. Swung on, and he gets a piece of it, fouls it right back into the backstop, and the count goes 2-2. On deck is Sean Halton. Fans clapping their hands, trying to get something going. Here's a line drive, fair ball down the right field line. It rolls into the corner, around first, trying for second is Komatsu. Up with the ball is the right fielder, Crummel, but the throw is not in time. It's a leadoff double for Eric Komatsu.
The first baseman, number 24, Sean Halton.
Komatsu pulled that fastball past the diving first baseman Lockwood, and it went down the first baseline towards the corner. And we told you that the stadium being horseshoe-shaped, I was waiting to see if it was going to get into the corner, or would it ricochet off the facade of the stands, which is what it did. And it bounced a little bit away from Crummel, but he caught up with it to keep Komatsu at second. All right, Sean Halton at the plate, and the first pitch is a fastball up and in, ball 1. Manatees trailing by 3. But Halton does have 6 home runs, and a dinger here gets them within 1. 1-0 pitch, fastball high, and the count's 2-0. The Tampa outfielder's fairly shallow, especially Melky Mesa in center field, but maybe he feels he's got the speed to catch up to it. There's another fastball up and in, the count goes 3-0. Well, if Halton can draw a walk, that would bring the tying run into the plate with Sergio Miranda, who does make contact but does not have a home run. 3-0 pitch, fastball down the middle, strike 1. Radar had him at 89. Halton can afford to be patient because his run really doesn't mean much other than it gets them closer. It's a grounder down the third. Suttle threw his wickets into left field for a base hit. Advancing on the error to third is Eric Komatsu. Well.
The third baseman, number 10, Sergio Miranda.
That's the 10th error of the season for Brad Suttle and the first error of the game. And so that'll bring up third baseman Sergio Miranda, who struck out, grounded to short, and walked. He does represent the tying run, and I would think that Tampa would give up the run at third in exchange for 2 outs, and they are in fact playing deep. The first pitch to Sergio is a grounder Almost into right field. Joseph knocks it down, picks it up, and throws it over to first for the out. So Miranda manages to score Komatsu from third to make it 4-2. Advancing to second on the ground ball is Halton. I thought that might get past Joseph to his left. He dove on the grass and managed to smother it. Got up and threw on to first just in time to retire Miranda. But scoring is Komatsu, and advancing to second is Sean Halton, and that brings up Brock Kelgard, who's 0 for 3. First pitch to Brock is a fastball up and in, ball 1. Kelgard also represents the tying run, but unlike Sergio, Brock has home run power. Leads the team with 8 dingers. 1-0 pitch, way inside, and it counts 2-0. Time called as the catcher Myron Leslie goes out to talk to Jonathan Ortiz. Well, as we said, Ortiz is the Tampa closer. 14 saves, a 2.56 ERA. He's given up just 2 home runs in 31 2/3 innings, but all it takes is one mistake, and Brock Kelgard could tie it up. 2-0 pitch. Takes a fastball outside corner, and it's 2-1. On deck is another power hitter, Scott Krieger. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch. Looked like maybe a curveball, and the count goes 2-2. And not to embarrass Brock by any means, but he does lead the league in strikeouts. He's now up to 105 after 2 strikeouts in this game. 2-2 pitch. Fastball goes to the backstop, and advancing to third will be Sean Halton. Most definitely a wild pitch by Jonathan Ortiz. And that is his first wild pitch of the year. No action in the Tampa dugout, or in the Tampa bullpen. 3-2 pitch is a grounder foul over towards the Yankees dugout, and the count remains 3-2. Three-two pitch. Oh, he just gets a piece of it and fouls it back into the net, and the count remains 3-2. Infield playing deep, they will give up the run at third with Halton to get the second out. That would cut it to 4-3, but then they just need one more out to win the game. And the 3-2 pitch is inside, ball 4.
The right fielder, number 47, Scott Krieger.
Well, here comes manager Torrey Tyson. I don't think there's going to be a pitching change because no one has been warming up in the Tampa bullpen. But all the infielders come onto the mound with the catcher Leslie and the pitcher Ortiz. And I'm sure Torrey Tyson is out there to basically say, hey, look, we had a 3-run lead. It's down to 2 with that runner on first and 1 out. All you need is a ground ball, double play, and the game is over. So quit screwing around and get us out of this game. From the Manatee perspective now, they bring the winning run to the plate in Scott Krieger, who's 0 for 3, flied out to left, struck out, and flied out to right. Krieger in 74 at-bats coming into the game, only 14 hits, batting 189, but he has 4 home runs and 15 RBI. Halton on third, Kelgard on first, 1 out. Manatees trail 4-2. First pitch, fastball away, ball 1. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and it's a fly ball foul down the right field line into the upper row of the aluminum bleachers, and the count goes 1-1. Krieger bats right-handed, and Melky Mason center, maybe a step or 2 into left center, or into right center rather. This pitch is swung on, it's rolled foul down to manager Bob Missick coaching at third, and he tosses it into the stands to a young fan. The count goes 1-2. The left fielder Flores playing very deep, straight away. So a big gap for Krieger in left center. 1-2 pitch. Fastball down and away, blocked by Leslie, and the count goes 2-2. Well, in 31 2/3 innings coming into this game, Ortiz had only 6 walks, but he's been very wild in this inning. 2-2 pitch to Krieger. Way inside, 3-2. Something with a wrinkle in it, breaking ball. And it darted back in just at the last moment, but I'm sure he missed what he was targeting, which was the inside corner. Krieger stepped away from it. For a moment, I thought it might nick him in the shoulder. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch, strike 3. So with 2 down, that'll bring up the catcher, Michael Roberts. Came into the game batting .231. 15 for 65. No homers, 7 RBI. He has a double and a triple. First pitch by Ortiz. Fastball misses away. 1-0. Next pitch. Swung on a miss on an off-speed pitch, and the count's 1-1. Roberts coming into 2010, a total of 7 home runs in his 2-year minor league career. One pitch, swung on, and he slices it the opposite way down the right field line into the aluminum bleachers. And now Jonathan Ortiz 1 strike away from ending the game for the Manatees. 4-2, Tampa over Brevard. Bottom of the 9th. Alton on third, Kelgard on first. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball inside. 1-2 pitch, and now it's 2-2. Two-two pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Roberts. Jonathan Ortiz records his 15th save of the year, and the Tampa Yankees defeat the Brevard County Manatees by a score of 4-2. In the bottom of the 9th for the Manatees, 1 run on 1 hit. A walk and an error, and 2 left. The line score for Tampa, 4 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. And for the Manatees, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Because Manuel Banuelos only worked 4 innings, he cannot get the win. So I'm going to assume that the win goes to Noel Castillo in relief for Tampa. The loss would go to Daniel Merklinger. Once again, hard luck loss because he pitched pretty well tonight. And again, with the exception of the dinger that he gave up to Corbin Joseph, overall I thought he pitched pretty well. So the Tampa Yankees will now be 8-2 in the second half, protecting their first place lead in the Florida State League North. The Manatees will drop to 5-7. Tampa moves on, and the Manatees remain at home for 3 more games. July 7, 8, and 9, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday against the Dunedin Blue Jays. If you have the pocket schedule, it says Clearwater, but it's not Clearwater, it's Dunedin. And if you check the Manatees website, manateesbaseball.com, you'll see it actually says that we're playing Dunedin the next 3 nights. And then starting Saturday, the Manatees go on the road for 3 games to Tampa to play the Tampa Yankees in Steiner-Brenner Field. Saturday night's game is at 7 p.m. with Sunday a day game at 1 o'clock. Monday night at 7 p.m. and then the league is off on Tuesday, July 13th to honor the Major League All-Star game. And also a reminder for those of you who are minor league aficionados to be sure to check your cable systems on Sunday to watch the Futures game, which is a collaborative process between Major League Baseball and Baseball America to create an exhibition game featuring the best prospects in the minor leagues. It's USA versus the world. And that'll be Sunday from Angel Stadium in Anaheim. Monday night, of course, is the Home Run Derby, and then the All-Star Game on Tuesday the 13th. After that, the Manatees are home for a 4-game stand starting Wednesday the 14th through Saturday the 17th. All are 7:05 home games, hosting the Charlotte Stone Crabs, the Tampa Bay Rays affiliate in the Florida State League. The next webcast we will be doing will be during that 4-game series against Charlotte. It'll be on Wednesday night, July 14th. Again, the webcast starts at 6:50 p.m. with game time at 7:05. If you want tickets for a game, of course, you can just walk up here to Space Coast Stadium with a capacity of 7,500. Plenty of room for you to just walk up. But you can also order your tickets in advance through the Manatees website at www.manateesbaseball.com, or you can go to the Manatees, or you can call the front office, rather, call the box office at area code 321-633-9200. That's area code 321-633-9200. And a couple of last little administrative matters. Once again, tonight's game will be archived and available for replay tomorrow on spacecoastbaseball.com. Hopefully I can get that done first thing in the morning for you. So if you missed any part of the game, you can listen to it in its entirety, and it'll be available on the homepage through July 14th when we do the next game, and then it moves into the permanent archives. So on the homepage there, click on multimedia and select audio. You'll see all the archived games. Once again, a reminder also that SpaceCoastBaseball.com volunteers to do these games. We're not compensated by the Manatees or anybody else. So if you'd like to help us defray our costs, not just for the webcast, but for all the photos and videos that you see there, because the cost of the equipment does add up, your donations are very much appreciated. And you'll see on the homepage there at SpaceCoastBaseball.com a link where you can either make a one-time donation or sign up for a $5 a month voluntary subscription. Well, in any case, on the webcast now, we drop to 6-2 here in 2010 as the Yankees defeat the Manatees by a score of 4-2. Thank you very much for listening in. We'll be back a week from tomorrow night with a game against the Charlotte Stone Crabs. So this is Stephen Smith for SpaceCoastBaseball.com saying good night.